to a completely different conclusion.
But aren't like 99% of Christians globe earthers? So if it's this like perfect intelligible book, like 99+% of them all, I guess, are just getting it all wrong, even though the claim is that God gave.
Well,
okay,
Gio,
so they're
did
just,
you
so
know?
every Christian is fake, other than like the flat earther ones.
Well,
yeah, Gio,
hang on, that's an all or nothing fallacy, but yeah, most Christians, most people are globers.
So it's not the biggest religion in the world at all. Then it's just a bunch of fakers.
Also, an all or nothing fallacy.
Yeah, and think of it like this:
if 99+% of them are all wrong and are interpreting it wrong, then they're not real Christians because they think it's a globe.
No, you're just saying that. I'm not affirming that. You said most Christians think this thing, but most people are globers.
So if
that's
they're
like it's sort of like saying most rapists believe in the globe, therefore the rape has anything to do with globe. But most rapists are globers because most people are globers. Those two things are mutually exclusive. They have nothing to do with each other.
They could. Actually, they actually could. I wonder how many percentage of flat earthers would rape people. I bet it'd be way smaller than globe earthers.
It's not even that high.
The globe earth cosmology sets up this like you're on a random spec in a random universe. Just get what you want for yourself. Rape people. I mean, that it sets up that mentality.
No, rapists don't have a basis for cosmological like entity per se.
Well, you could say most people with arms believe in the globe.
It just seems like a really disingenuous like tact to actually just try to like distract with something, whatever crazy.
Wait, what? Snacks, what do you mean by that?
He was just like he's bringing up rapists like out of fucking nowhere. That's all. It just seems like it's a distraction play, and there's nothing quantitatively like that you could say that any rapist has a cosmological preference. So it's totally like biblical people do. They should, because there's a book, and there's no book for rapists anyway. Gally, come up with another bad metaphor. Sorry.
No, you just agreed with my reasoning after the metaphor. My reasoning is that the two different things have nothing to do with each other. So you agree with my point.
No.
So I don't know why you're saying it's a bad metaphor. You agree with the point that I made using it.
No.
It's not a tactic or anything. It's like saying most people with arms believe it's a globe. Does that mean having arms has something to do with believing it's a globe? Of course
the Bible has something to do with people believing into something, though, right? And you're bringing up any kind of anybody is a total distraction play, and now you've just confirmed it by
okay. Then you agree with my point.
Don't interrupt me. By pretending to agree with me, by pretending that I agreed with you, and that's not the case. I'm making a distinction point that you're bringing up a disingenuous point of debate. You're steering it off into something that's a moralistic debate. You tried to. Now you're going to bring it into people with hands. But neither of them have a tome that instructs them as to like a shape of a place that they live, right? So
that's my point. That the two things aren't mutually exclusive. They don't have anything to do with each other.
That's where you're wrong. No, you keep.
Okay, now you can interrupt
seem
me.
Wired for sound to believe
I'm
what you're
Christian,
saying,
and we can do that to Christians.
No.
Yeah, I think you guys are on the same. You guys agree, but Gio, I'm with Gio. I think there might be an opening. I tried to argue how the globe leads to dangerous behavior because it's not based in reality.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, but what's next is it's just not the same. Like having arms, like there's no book that says anything about having arms. That's just what we have. So just because a lot of that just doesn't seem like a good analogy, because we were talking about like if this Bible thing is supposed to be like intelligible and it's the word of God, but then like it's the world's biggest religion. The point I said is that in relation to that, if 99+% of people all are the Christians and are apparently like have this like intelligible book, which is claimed, but then they all believe the globe, then they're all just completely wrong and they're not Christians. They're not even following what the book says. They're not even following what the book says. So how intelligible is this book when 99+% of the religion are all not even abiding by even what it says?
I'll tell you why.
The book makes a claim of globe or not.
Yeah, how does the globe?
It's pretty clear the Bible is defining the cosmology that they had at the time, which was a stationary, on foundations, firmament. I mean, it's pretty clear that it's not describing a globe.
So, Gio,
how does any claim of globe or not?
How
He
does
doesn't make a
believing in the
claim.
globe lead to?
Okay.
What did you say? What was it you said?
Dangerous
Believing
behavior,
in.
destructive behavior.
Please explain that. Please explain that.
Okay, let's say if someone has a false sense of reality, it's going to lead, right, because they're no
Hold on.
longer walking or operating in full truth. That
Okay, wait.
could
Stop for a second. Okay, first of all, how are you determining that automatically believing in the globe is false, a false reality?
Because we literally ask you for proof every day of the week, and you literally come in here with philosophy and no proof. Next question.
But B-Ball, you asked him a question and he was trying to lay it out, and then you interrupted him. So could he at least
No,
like?
well,
Obviously,
the first thing you said was incorrect because like how are you going to automatically claim that it's a false reality?
all right, first of all, your mic is really muffled. Secondly, we know you really strongly have a belief in the globe Earth theory. We know that. So we already know that's your position. You were asking how believing in the globe would
Gio,
bring about
let him
toxic
answer,
behaviors,
Gio.
and now you're interrupting me.
Let
So
him
you were
answer,
asking him,
Gio.
now you're interrupting me. Do we need to
Yeah, but
start
let
muting
him
people?
answer, not you.
We need to
I
start
asked
muting
him.
people?
hold
Yeah,
on. Let Gio
I'm
go.
coming in to moderate because I'm coming in to moderate because you clipped and interrupted him, and I was trying to reframe the question to get back to it, and then you interrupted me. So I guess I'll just leave you on mute or unmute you one more time. And if you do it again, I'll just leave you on mute because this is absolutely ridiculous. You interrupted
Gio.
him and me trying to have a conversation. Could you now stay on mute? And at least if you interrupted me, fine. I guess you didn't want to listen to my point. Let's at least let Eden respond.
Thank you. I'd like to
Yes,
steel
let
man
him
it
respond, please.
one more time. I'll steel man it and you guys can rate it. Okay. So if the Bible is true and the claims within the Bible are true, such as the earth being flat, stationary, okay, and people believe otherwise, it's a globe because man tells you, right? They'll say don't believe in the Bible. That means, let's say there's certain rules within the Bible that are true and come from the creator, but if we believe man and they say that the Bible is not true because I have science to show you, and we find out that science is false or uh, not complete, then if people believe the incomplete false knowledge, they're going to reject the information that is truth. That could lead them to fatal consequences, in my opinion.
Yeah, but first of all, you have not determined what you think is true.
Is this the toxic behavior you were worried about, Eden?
Well, I'm okay with the question. He's not name calling, so that's great. And thank you, Earth's Life. Always great to hear from you. So, yeah, so now the thing is, we would have to try to confirm whether or not the Bible is true. And it seems like there's lots of evidence to show that is the case, such
But
as the
I
firmament.
thought the question that he asked was, how does believing in the globe lead to criminal behavior, basically, or some kind of out of integrity behavior?
Yeah, you could probably steelman it without the Bible. Let's remove the Bible from that. Let's just say it's the Earth is flat, and you want to believe it's a globe. How does that lead to dangerous behavior such as murder and whatnot? It's probably going to be more difficult without the Bible, but it could be done still. I suppose you can still say it's not true for one, and living in a world that's not true maybe inconsequently or will lead to consequences that are harmful somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I could say some things on it, but I mean, just in terms of like the nihilism, materialism, the atheism, being on a random speck in a huge universe, and we're all just kind of like survival of the fittest. You know, get yours for you. Who cares about your neighbor? There's a lot of components that the globe Earth brings into humanity, and I would say it is linked to the corruption of the world today very deeply.
So let's describe two scenarios, right? We have two. Let's say we have two teenagers. One teenager believes it's a globe, right? Another teenager believes it's flat, right? So the one teenager that believes it's flat believes that everyone is lying to him, he or she, right? Right. And the other teenager goes through school, excels in school, right? Graduates and everything. And the other teenager doesn't because he believes that everything that's being taught to him in school is a lie. Which one of those outcomes is going to be, which one of those individuals are going to be more successful?
Well,
You
there's a
can't really
problem
use
in
a
your question.
hypothetical.
I don't know
There's
if
a
anyone
problem
that
in your
thinks
question.
everyone's lying. I don't know if one flat earther that thinks everyone's lying. That's just false. There's just some that are lying. So that's already false right off the bat. Now, you brought up a point, though. Yeah, if you're aware of corruption, I suppose, or if you're aware of evil on a deeper level, I think it's good to be aware, though. But I mean, I hear your point to a degree. By understanding that we're being lied to about the earth, it would bring in another factor of like, I mean, again, it's not everyone lying. It's just some people, some entities. But we know that governments lie, politicians lie. I mean, you could almost say that everyone in politics is lying. You could say the media is mostly lies, which you probably would agree, at least with portions of those, that there's portions. So being in this world, you're already going to have to, unfortunately, be aware that there's liars and evil. You can't just go through like completely whistling in the dark and just, hoping that it's all good or whatever. So, I mean, I hear you. That brings another awareness in. But I mean, if we're really going to get to cosmology, you'd almost have to do like a bigger study, like how many people that have a planar stationary Earth cosmology are criminals, rapists, etc., versus the globe. That's a stats
Great
which I
point, Gio.
don't have.
So what if you're in a position to lie, right? The government comes to you and say, you have to lie with us. And if you go against them, that's dangerous. So that's another reason it could be dangerous if it's not
Yeah,
true. And there's
that's never happened.
people trying to get people to say it is, and then you go against them. That's, you could either go to jail or they'll
Do you believe that that's
execute.
what's happening? Do you think that people are
We're
coming
doing
to me
that
and
right now,
telling me?
though.
Wait, I was saying something. Do you believe that some people are coming to me and telling me that I have to lie because I work for the government?
No, but there's a theory. There's a story where that one of the astronauts that landed on the moon, he came back, became a Christian, and he was speaking to a reporter. This is the reporter on video saying he was gonna he had something to speak, and he was gonna speak on camera about it. And before he had that opportunity, which was like the following few days, he died of a supposed heart attack. As if people are listening, right? Because if you're an astronaut, you're gonna have government agents listening for life. They're not gonna let an astronaut go off into society and then tell people it's fake. So they're going to be listening for life. So some people speculate, let's say if it is flat and that there is a cover up, going against it will be dangerous. There's no if or ands or buts about it. Especially if
I
these
do
people
kind of agree
are,
that like the mainstream cosmology does lead to nihilism. Even like the mainstream just like take on sociopolitics stuff where like let's say you're watching a debate and like one of the debaters just blatantly lies about something, but people support that person. You're like, hey, they just lied about that thing. You're just like, yeah, no, that's just good politic. Really got him. Like people have become so desensitized towards like the lesser of two evils and choosing the lesser of two
Yeah.
evils. That's become such a norm lately.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that on your guys' side also. So I'm not sure if you
Duplicate
guys
fallacy.
call that out when it happens,
But
but we
that,
have seen a lot of that happen.
but that
That is a
mentality,
duplicate fallacy.
that mentality of the blue pale dot that Gio is kind of like going over, that's a very dangerous mentality to put into people because you get the idea of like, I don't even have to worry about anything. Nothing matters. I could just go skydiving without a parachute, live in the moment, bruh.
Yeah, there's like a whole disenchanted kind of lack of meaning that generally, I mean, B-ball, the one thing about sides or whatever, like we were all brought up in this global thing. So even if someone is like says they're a flat earther or they whatever, it doesn't even mean that they maybe even are like they or they could still have some of the globe mentality in them. Like it's kind of tough because we're all just born into this, and then people are kind of trying to break out of it in different ways, and then there still may be people that are still have the globe mentality. But yeah, I think the nihilism and the materialism, the Big Bang, everything came from nothing, and then also atheism, I think are pretty major factors. I think there's a lot of like criminals out there that are just, yeah, it's like just get mine from me. This world's effed up. Who cares? We're on this random ball in this big universe. I mean, there's something to be said for that whole thing, that whole mentality. Versus if you have a planar stationary Earth cosmology and you really truly do, it would like there's really no way that it was not created by some higher intelligence. If it was created by a higher intelligence, that means that we're connected to that higher intelligence, which then would imply that we're connected to each other. Potentially, it would also imply that we're all like on a level playing field, like we're all in this thing together. We're all like cells in an organism. Even there's a divine heavens above us, and so on and so forth. So it tends to engender. Again, it doesn't mean that everyone who says I'm a flat earther means that they have all this, but I'm just saying it tends to engender more of of a united, working together, helping each other, and being kind of united under one kind of firmament or one connected way, versus the globe where you're all antipodal to each other, like geometrically. You're whirling at millions, trillions of miles an hour. There's an unknown space out there that there could be aliens that could come get you. And then the materialism, atheism, how that's all connected together.
Yeah, the
Dude, well
globe
said.
is
Can I add in like
a
one little part, Gio?
real quick,
Is
bro. I
that
only got 1 second.
oh, go for it.
I just want to say the globe is a gateway drug for sure.
Right, Jeremy.
Yes.
Yep, you got it.
Well, Gio, I wanted to add in one thing to your point is that the globe says you occupy a random, impartial, cosmic coincidence, Big Bang, random spot in the entirety of all things, whereas the not globe side says you occupy a very unique spot, a very important spot, versus this like random cosmic coincidence that all exploded at some point, and then you came from a random cosmic coincidence, and it's just non-stop impartiality, nothing matters. So there's
So,
even that too.
so God couldn't create both if he's all
Another two
powerful.
quoque fallacy.
So God couldn't create both, yes or no?
That's a two quoque fallacy. So a two quoque
Do you
fallacy
not
is
think that
when one
God
second,
could
one
create
second.
ever? Do you not think that
Nope,
God
real
could
quick.
create?
I
Go
let
ahead.
you ask your question, and I was trying to answer it. So a two quoque fallacy is when someone presents a claim or an argument, and your response is yes, but your
God.
thing is ridiculous too.
Why not just answer the question and stop trying to cry about a fallacy? Just answer the question. Do you not
Because it's
think God
fallacious.
could create an ever expanding galaxy universe?
Oh, why not just answer the question? Because it's fallacious. That's like me asking,
Because you know
do
it's
you
true
not
though,
think
right? If
like if
God
I
is
ask you
if God is all
okay, once
powerful,
again,
he would be able to create a universe that is ever expanding, that goes on forever, with an unlimited amount of resources, unlimited amount of planets, stars. Why would he not be able to create that, as opposed to just one small speck of one flat planet with a dome, and there's nothing else outside of that?
okay, I'm gonna answer, but I'd like to not be interrupted, please. And I'm also gonna address why that question is not conducive to a good conversation. So it's a loaded question at two quoque fallacy. It's equivalent to me asking, why would you believe that not God could do all of that stuff? If I just responded to what you said with that, why would you believe that not God could do all of that stuff? Do you see how the conversation progresses no further? Because what's happening is we'd be accusing each other tacitly of, well, what your argument sucks. Well, your argument sucks. We weren't talking about God. We were talking about the globe or heliocentric paradigm and the entailments of what that does, philosophical entailments, and how that weighs on people. And your response was, yeah, but the God paradigm is bad too, and I don't like it. So we could go back to the original topic and not follow the non sequitur, which was what type of entailments philosophically and sociopolitically does the globe paradigm have on people? We try to
I
track.
don't think it has anything on people. I think a lot of people just don't even think about it. So
Well,
to
can I
claim that,
actually?
go ahead.
Well, can I actually? Okay, sorry if I'm interrupt. Well, can I just say, B-Ball, I actually hear what you're saying. So God could, like, to answer what you're saying though, yes, a God or a creative intelligence could create a globe and a huge universe and balls and the whole thing out there. Yes, I would say yes, that is possible in the realm of things. First of all, secondly, I don't even like just one planar Earth world. It doesn't mean that this is all there is. There actually could be many other dimensions. So just because this one may be contained or maybe one place, it doesn't mean this is the only one. It doesn't mean this is all that exists. And then lastly, I actually know people, back to the first point, I know people who do have a globe Earth cosmology and they don't have this nihilism and all this stuff. Like they're not atheists, they don't have nihilism. They actually they think it's a globe, but they think they have like some of the factors I was saying, like we're all united, like we're all connected, have love for your neighbor, all that stuff. So I'm just saying there are nuances. Like there are people who believe the globe that don't have that nihilism criminality thing, but we were
Yeah,
talking also on a larger scale.
I don't think anybody. I mean, I think it's two totally different things, right? Just to claim that because I believe in the globe, now I'm this evil person and I have these specific beliefs because I believe it's a globe. No, that's completely false, right? Because most people go through their entire lives, they don't even think about the globe. They know, okay, yes, we live on a globe. Because we understand it, but most people don't even think about it. So to connect that to being some sort of evil or some sort of like, you know what I mean? It's just it's. I don't think I don't think that's right to
No
connect
one did
those
that
two
though,
things
brother.
together.
People that think about it
Well,
come
there,
into flat earthers and talk to people about it.
well, there's
Of
just
course,
Like
nuance.
you,
of course. Hold on one second. Of course, as soon as somebody hears my voice, here comes Rob because he always likes to hears my voice and he feels like he needs to interject.
hey, here
Go ahead,
comes
Rob.
the attack. Here comes the attack on Rob.
Right, that's just sort of like poisoning the well and a character attack. But as far as your question, no one did say because you believe it's a globe that you are evil and all these other things. We were talking about the heliocentric paradigm and how it can lead to nihilism. Jeremy
Yeah.
specifically said it's a slippery slope.
And
Yes, there's plenty of
how?
ways that it can. How?
Gateway drug. The gateway
How?
drug.
Jeremy said it was a gay. Yeah, Bebo, we're talking about like, okay, if you were going to control a whole society and you had a flat Earth or a globe Earth, like as the options, I think we're just talking about like what potentially some of the globe Earth like framework or paradigm could set up for people on a larger scale. Like I said, I have friends who they do plant medicines, they do yoga, they're very loving. They're not evil at all. They're not criminals, they're not nihilistic. Like they actually think we're on the globe. A lot of them think that astrology, like not only that we're on a globe, but that the God created the planets to be linked, how they're synchronistically connected to our lives and so on. But they're in the globe paradigm and they're not evil at all. So that's what I'm saying. There's nuance to it. It's not just the shape necessarily, but I think when it's linked together, like on a larger scale, the nihilism, the atheism, and the materialism, the materialistic evolution as well, that we all just evolved from like pond scum in this big random universe. So there's just nuance, but there's like kind of an overarching component of that, of the insignificance and being on this ball that's flying millions of miles through the world and like nothing matters for a lot of people. There's that framework. And then does that set up the room for more corruption, more criminality, less cohesiveness working together? So it doesn't mean that it's true in every case, but I think we're talking about like the overarching, pattern of it.
Right, there's a lot of random, impartial, just happenings that are accepted when you take on the heliocentric model where the purpose of these things is just waved away. It's like, well, it was done without purpose. Actually, it wasn't even done. It just sort of happened. Everything just blowed up, and then all these things that seem to be put in sync in such a way that we can appreciate. Nope, that's just complete coincidence. Where the heliocentric paradigm invites that type of thought. It doesn't necessarily mean that everyone who believes in heliocentrism believes in nihilism or lack of purpose, but it does invite that direction because ultimately you would be saying at the most ultimate level, nothing matters cosmically.
So that doesn't happen on flat Earth side at all.
That's another 2 cool K fallacy.
It could happen on, if you want to call them sides, sure. It could be.
The reason why I don't want to grant the 2 cool K fallacy is because if we both go back and forth, and then when someone makes a point, the response is just to accuse the other of being a hypocrite, we're not actually going to go anywhere. I made a very
That like
cohesive,
your flavor of the
very
week? Is that like
cogent
your phrase?
point.
Is that like your phrase of the week now? That we're gonna keep hearing the same fallacy.
I took the time to make a very cogent, relevant point, and your response was, but flat earthers do bad stuff too. That's not relevant, it's non sequitur, and it's a fallacy.
So what is your argument then?
I just said all of it, and your response was, but flat earthers do that too.
Yeah, exactly. So what is your argument? What are we arguing about?
You don't remember everything I just said, which
only the
was
globe
following what
model.
Gio just said?
So only only people on the globe model believe that? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, what are we arguing about?
I explicitly said in my argument that not only the globe model does this. So you
So what
weren't
are we arguing
listening.
about then?
You weren't listening, and then what you did
I
was
was.
after I finished speaking, you just accused me of being a flat earther hypocrite who also does the bad thing that you don't even know what I said was.
Okay, so what are we arguing about then?
What I was speaking about was how the heliocentric paradigm invites in nihilism because at the most ultimate level, it says that there is no ultimate meaning.
Is that really? How sure of that are you?
Well, it does
Is
seem
that
to
a
have that. Like,
response?
well, like for example, some of the friends like from my graduate school and that are involved in cosmology and all of this, like I said, some of them still have a globe. Like they haven't all gone through like that the Earth isn't a globe like process or whatever. So a lot of them still think it's a globe, but they actually critique the materialism and they critique the actual like the Newtonian Cartesian worldview and the kind of the sense of self that has been isolated from meaning and so on. So they're actually like tuning into that part of it. They just still have the globe mentality, but actually like those come together. The meaninglessness, the atheism, like a lot of those come together with the globe. Even though the globe is just a geometry, I mean, technically it could be a globe, and none of these other materialism things could be the case. But it seems like it comes along like as a paradigm. And again, there's nuance. It's not like every single person has those factors, but it does tend to lean towards that. And people who don't think about it a lot are going to just lean towards that even more so. Like that nihilism, get mine for you and survival of the fittest and that whole mentality where you're just on this speck of dust and if you're just atheistic and everything just exploded in the middle of nowhere, there wouldn't even be any moral code potentially. Like it would lean you towards like, oh, I can do this act and I'm going to rob from them and get money, or I'm going to rape this person and get whatever they get out of that. Like all of that, they may just feel like they can do that without consequences and so on. So it does set it up for that. And especially people who don't think about it or who don't deeply like ponder on it, because the people I'm talking about, they deeply ponder on this stuff. That's why they've been able to break that apart. But if you're just a person who was raised in a family that was abusive and then you were told it's a globe and then now you're 18 years old and you're out there doing crime, that's the thing. Like it's going to lean more towards that. Where if they were brought up with like some spiritual tradition that had a stationary planar Earth and we're all connected and so on, I don't think that they would be as likely to
But
do all those criminal acts.
how are you connecting knowing whether or not the Earth is a globe or the shape of the Earth or whatever with all these other things? Where's
Because
the
they're
connection?
connected. Well, they are connected. The Newtonian Cartesian. That's why it's called Newtonian.
I'm talking about like you think you're trying to make a moral argument when it comes to understanding the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, I mean the Copernican principle, Copernican revolution. I think it's all connected because it's connected to the scientific paradigm that we're in, and then it's connected to the moralistic paradigm of. I mean, in schools they don't really teach any spirituality or religion generally. It's more of an atheistic, materialistic foundation.
Yeah,
So yeah, they are connected.
but most people go through their lives and they don't even think about it.
Yeah, and then they
Yeah,
fall
but
into
look at
they fall into-
society now. Do
Think
you
about the shape of the
look
Earth.
at society at large?
The
Look at
only people that are
society at
thinking about.
large.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay,
then they fall into a default. Yeah, they fall into a default in a lot of cases of
most people that don't even go through their life. They go through their life and they even think about the shape of the Earth. So how are you making that
I
connection?
could because that connection is true. What Gio is saying, it's when you think deeper. So sometimes I go to like a men's Bible study where men talk about the deeper issues in their lives, also while engaging in something spiritual like the Bible or God.
Do they ever bring up the
And
shape of the
that
Earth?
conversation comes up often. They say, how is it that we're just like this tiny insignificant speck in the vast universe? Like, people start to think those things when you think like what Gio was saying.
Do they ever bring up the shape of the Earth in those discussions?
He just did.
They
He just said
they
it. They
just
talk about it
assume,
all the
yeah,
time.
they assume what they've been told is true, and they have a very hard time making sense of their lives because of it. If we are on this insignificant pale blue dot, why can I see so much meaning all around me? That's a problem people have.
Well, I think it would be. I think your position would make more sense, or would have more weight behind it if you had maybe. And I know you've heard this before. If you had a working map and a working model, then it would make more sense.
So
But
that the
neither of
issue with
those are
that is
ever
that's
coming.
another
Hold on.
argument against the person
Neither.
that
Hold
doesn't
on.
address
Hold
his
on.
claim.
Hold on. Neither of those will ever come.
Okay, just for the record, how do you know that Torah for Yah is a flat earther or I'm a flat earther? And
Oh
then if you
God! Of
did,
course.
please stop interrupting. It's almost every time I've opened my mic, you've interrupted as soon as I
I'm
start
on
speaking.
mute right now.
Please stop interrupting me to justify your past interruptions. Please stop. So even if Torah for Yah or me were a flat earther, our beliefs have nothing to do with the point that we're making. So it's another tu quoque fallacy. It's an argument
Here we
against
go.
the
Here we go with
person.
the flavor of the week. Go again. Go ahead.
It's a tubal
Dude,
cane
you are
fallacy.
just a vile person.
It's just
I'm not.
it's a very
I'm not.
simple
I'm
thing.
not.
Check it
But
out, Earth is life. It's all good, dude. It's just very simple. It's like in order to see this in other people, I don't have to go in there from the views of a flat earther. I can just look around at people and see there's an issue. They're having a hard time putting together. If we're just like on this insignificant pale blue dot, why is there so much meaning around me? If evolution is true, I shouldn't feel the difference between indigestion or love, but I do.
what
And
the hell?
there's
Man.
something huge there that people are really starting to grasp and hold on to when they get spiritual. And so you don't have to know the cosmology to have those kind of thoughts, but if you're brought up in a specific cosmology, why you end up with those questions? Those questions never should even actually exist.
Yeah, like if you, yeah, I think Stalin was a Christian before he came across the idea of evolution and maybe evolution from the globe, and that led him to atheistic thinking, which led to some people argue millions of people's deaths.
I think one thing, B-Ball, to respond to what you said, I don't think you need to have a map or a whole model of the whole cosmology to have a cosmology or a worldview. Like, I don't think you have to know the entire map of the whole thing. Like, if you have a stationary planar, like that's what you experience. You can see just with your own eyeballs, long distance, there's no curvature. We could get into all the whole debate of it all, but I'm just saying, I don't think you have to have mapped the whole world to have a worldview or a cosmology.
Come on, Gio. Let's not even go down that.
But you
Yes,
agree
we
with
all know
him,
what we all
right?
know what you guys claim. There's no curvature. Never been measured. No one knows the distance to the sun. We've heard it all before.
No, I didn't say all that. What I'm saying is that you said, what I'm saying
Yeah,
is that
but
I don't think that a human being has to have a perfect map of the whole realm or a perfect model of the whole realm to have some kind of a foundational cosmology. Let's say they were going off stationary and planar. That's the only point I'm making, because it was one point that you had made, and I'm just interjecting on that one point, that I don't think you have to have a whole map to have a worldview or a cosmographical worldview, because cosmography is the actual geometric layout of the whole realm. Now, I know some people might say, well, if you can't go to the whole realm, you can't make a claim about the whole realm. That's another way to view it. This is like inductive versus
Deductive.
deductive. Yeah, my mind blanked for a second. Inductive versus deductive reasoning.
Let me go
whether
next.
you go off the whole to the part or the part to the whole. But anyways, go ahead.
Just on the last thing, I don't know what you guys are on now, but on the last thing, like the globe just has you as this little insignificant speck somewhere in the universe, and flat Earth got you like right, in the middle, basically, give or take. You know what I'm saying? We are special here on flat Earth, and you guys are just not special in your globe. So
why
just right
not?
out the gate,
Why aren't
despite
we?
everything else,
Why not?
because you guys claim we're in this insignificant place in the universe.
It's a
But
pale blue
people that
dot, dude.
believe in the globe also believe in God. So I don't think they believe that we're insignificant.
In the
Again, there's
heliocentric model, we
nuance.
are in an insignificant. In the heliocentric model, we are in an insignificant location, right?
I mean, you can believe that, of course, but like, you
Is there
yourself,
something
you're not
special?
you're hold on. You yourself, you're not insignificant. You're a miracle.
It's not what
Out
I
of a
believe.
billion, out of 1 billion sperm, You made it, right? Out of a billion things, out of a billion places that we could have been, right?
This is not a
We
sequitur.
somehow, our place in the universe somehow made it so that we can survive on this little
How do you know
spot.
those aren't?
So I don't
How
think,
do you know
I
all
don't
of
think that
those
we're
aren't?
that
Hold on, bro. I'm
insignificant.
waiting to go next. I'm trying to
I
respond to
know, but
this
you
because
didn't
he said
allow. I
something
mean,
right out the
I'm
gate.
gonna
He
allow
straw
you to
man
finish,
me.
but you should allow me to finish. I'm gonna give you
He
the same
straw
amount of
man me
time,
right
right?
out the gate. So go ahead,
But I'm
though.
gonna give you the same amount of time, though, right? So let me just finish what I'm saying. So I mean, I don't think that anyone believes that we're that insignificant because look how our realm or whatever you want to call it has evolved, has come to pass. You know,
Okay, that was all. That
somehow
was all. Oh, you're
somehow.
not done. I
Go
thought you
ahead,
were
go
done.
ahead,
My
go
bad.
ahead.
I
No,
thought
go
you were
ahead.
done. Out of all that shit you said, it was a completely red herring, and you started off with "you can think that." I'm not thinking that. The heliocentric model has us in an insignificant location in the universe. That's not what I believe. That's just the heliocentric model's claim that we are in an
I
insignificant
don't
place
think
in the
that. I think
universe.
that's incorrect, Jeremy.
It's the
I don't
Copernican
think
Okay,
anybody
what's
principle,
believes.
dude.
significant? What's significant about our location in the heliocentric model than
We
where
are
Earth
in a
is?
perfect orbit around the sun, right? We're on a planet that has the resources that allows us to survive. So I don't think that's insignificant at all.
If we were different kinds of
Yes, but
creatures
the
that could
location.
survive with different stuff, it would all just work out the same, dude. You're saying there's
Right.
no
Then
life
we still
anywhere
wouldn't be
else. You're
insignificant.
No
saying there's
why?
no
No why?
life.
Dude, the heliocentric model does not have us in a significant location. In fact, I have quotes from scientists saying it would be horrific to imagine we were in a significant location or something to that effect. There is no significance to the location we're in on a
Yeah.
globe.
Since when do you believe what scientists say, Jeremy? Come on.
I'm
This is
steel manning. I'm trying to steel man your model, but you're not doing it. So I got to
It's
bring out the
never.
big boys that can actually steel man your model to help
Yeah. You
you
don't
steel
actually
man your own thing.
This
you
is
believe.
actually, people, let me get in. Hold on. This is actually somewhat nuanced. There is a nuance to this, though, because Jeremy, I could actually rebut your position. For example, like the Copernican principle says that it's like not a privileged position, like not a special or privileged position in the universe, but it doesn't really mean that we're not special. Like just because we're not in a special position, because there are a lot of globe Earth folks who do think that Earth is very special, and that
I
you know,
know.
like
I
B-Ball's saying,
know.
like the whole what's it called, the Goldilocks zone, and someone, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I know we're in the right spot, but there's really nothing special about that because they claim there's millions of other exoplanets that are in those conditions and shit. So that's not really that special. And the location itself just isn't special. We're just in some random place in the universe. Whereas
And it
flat Earth,
just
we're not.
and it
Whereas on
and it
flat Earth, we're not just in some random place in the universe.
yeah, but
That's not true.
apparently, God created this realm on this flat plane. He put a dome over top of us. So, I mean, right? We're somewhat in a significant position there, and which
You got cut
in
out
the
there.
heliocentric model, we're in this Goldilocks zone. We're on a planet that's perfectly suitable for just us, right? So how is that not equivalent?
Do you
Because
think
they
there's
claim
not
there's
other planets?
millions. Because they claim there's millions of other planets that are in Goldilocks zones and that could be suitable for life. Like there's nothing
Yeah, but do we
special.
know that for sure, though?
There's
Come on.
nothing special about the Goldilocks zone. There's
Yeah,
nothing
but
special about having water on your
Yeah,
shit or air or none of that
but we
shit.
haven't
Like,
really found any other planets that are exactly like ours, right?
well, yeah, maybe. I mean, that's what they claim or whatever. The one thing about the Copernican principle, it's more about like physical position more than like actual like human meaning or purpose. Like technically, the Copernican principle is more about the actual position is not special, but that doesn't necessarily mean that humans are not special. And I know that Professor Parks was in here a month or two ago saying this and debating this as well. And I understand what he's saying because there's the argument that, you know, but I was somewhat making that argument earlier, the nihilism and being on a pale blue dot. So it's sort of both. It's like these things are like percentages in my mind. Like It's probably like 75% of people or something who believe in the globe probably do have that insignificant thing, the pale blue dot that's meaningless. But then there's maybe like 25% of people that have thought more deeply about it and can break apart the nuance. Because there is something to that, like nihilism, like we're on this like random ball. We just came through evolution. All we are is like consciousness just comes from material interactions in our brain that just evolved from a big bang nothingness. Therefore, my brain's just functioning. Okay, then I'm going to go be a criminal or I'm going to do whatever I want because there's no moral framework. There's no interconnectedness, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing. Like that might be like kind of a baseline foundation within the paradigm, but then there's a lot of nuance to this as well. And there's a lot of people that don't, they don't hold all that, all the way down to the root of it. They have nuance to it.
But in the heliocentric model, our position in the universe is insignificant. The Earth, the
He's saying
position of
just
Earth.
Physically.
There is no special thing about where Earth is in the heliocentric model.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the Copernican, the position.
The Copernican principle.
Yeah, but does that mean
right out the gate? I'm not saying people don't think they're special or whatever. There's not some other special thing going. I mean, there is no other physical special thing in the heliocentric model because, like I said, they claim there's tons of planets in Goldilocks zones that have air and water. There's nothing special about this in their model. You could find a billion Earths somewhere throughout the galaxies.
Yeah, but Jeremy, I don't think that anyone has claimed that we found other planets exactly like ours.
Well, yeah, but B-Ball, if we're on like the wing, if we're on like the outer wing of like the Milky Way, and we're just, it does seem like it's not in a specific position. You know what I mean? It's just in a massive light years expanding trillions of miles, thing.
And then just go ask anybody, do you believe in aliens? And they're going to be like, oh, of course. Just think how it's possible because of the size of the universe.
I honestly don't really believe in aliens like that, but sure.
There are people who like have religion or believe in a god or a higher power who also believe the globe. So that's the thing. But is that the masses? Well, I mean, this kind of got started. We're talking about Christians. Most Christians believe the globe. But yeah, go ahead.
Gio, right in school though, before they, you know what I'm saying, right out the gate, they're like, "Yo, here you are. There's no significant spot." You know what I'm saying? Like, just right out the gate with the like heliocentric model, they're just like, "You're not special." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's aliens.
And you evolved from sea slime over millions of years, coming from a big bang
or aliens.
Random
chaotic. My point. My point was like, you're also teaching children this. That's why it's significant. That's what I was telling Professor Parks.
Even in FE, if the universe was small and contained, that would still be a huge universe because, yeah, maybe on the large scale, it's not that big like the globe, but you're still dealing with the small scale. So if you were to shrink down to like, like how small you want to go, that reality is now that big. So that's just something to think about. That's it.
It doesn't change the specialness of the Earth's position in the relation to it and how Earth is so unique compared to everything else that we look at. And I think the point most Christians believe in the globe, it just falls under the category of most people believe in the globe. So I feel like it's kind of redundant.
Yeah, there's a reason why a lot of people believe in the globe.
I mean, I have ideas.
Yeah, but how could they be a real Christian? How could they be a real Christian if they don't even believe the first few pages of the book?
Well, the Bible is not specific on.
Facts.
Yeah, if you're saying
I
like
have
if someone's into like evolution, do you mean like if someone's into evolution and Big Bang?
Well, no, just I mean,
I'll go after Geo answers.
I don't see why it's an issue for the Earth to be a globe, geocentric, and something that was created before the sun and moon. I don't see why that's an issue.
How is a globe built on foundations?
I mean, I could have
Well, that could be. You have to think like I agree with you, Geo, that I think that the Earth is set literally on foundation. But you could what is the foundation of truth in your opinion? Is that a literal pillar?
It would have to be because that's what it says, according to Dr. Michael Heiser.
So a foundation of truth is you're going to find it in reality?
Can you guys hear me or no?
I was trying to wait to let you get in.
Yeah.
It's all right though, Jeremy. The model works though. I mean, you can't deny that. At least, you know. We can argue about refraction.
The model
and all that
goes
stuff, but
against
works.
the model actually goes against the mainstream paradigm of this is mainstream PhD level physics of where you can never know what's moving, because in the heliocentric model, they claim that they do know what's moving absolutely. And that's antithetical to the idea of the mainstream physics where you can never know what's moving.
Yeah, we know one part of the model is working, and that's the map, supposedly. But all the other, like, if you, according to the mathematicians and the theoretical physicists themselves, they say the model is off by a factor of 10 to 120.
Oh God!
Hello.
Really? You talking about the Earth, Moon, and Sun model, or are you talking about what are you talking about? Dark matter and dark energy, which have nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
How do you know that?
That's the difference in quantum and the universe is at the edge.
Yeah, we always
that
get
doesn't
back
mean
to
anything.
it. Always goes back to the same thing.
It's about the missing matter that's 5 times heavier than the matter, at least, than the matter that we see that's surrounding us.
Eden has nothing
matter.
to do with the shape of the Earth.
Yeah.
The matter doesn't matter.
Wait, hold on a second. Dude, you know you're in your own paradigm. Gravity is why planets form in spheres.
Yeah,
so
yeah, we know that.
We know that. It works too.
We know that.
Oh, so it does have to do with the shape. So what are you talking
about? Dark matter and dark energy, which
yes, it has.
And that means what to the shape of the Earth? Yeah, you're breaking up real bad.
Yeah, breaking up. But yeah, we could stay within the solar system and we could never talk about dark matter again.
That's not true.
No, that's not true. That's not true because planets.
Well, y'all are going to straw man me.
The
no, you guys
matter,
just want to have your own theory
on it.
That's not
true because dark matter, bro. Can you guys hear me now?
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Dark matter is crucial to the formation of stars. So you're not going to be talking about your system and think you're going to get away with just leaving dark matter out of it.
Yeah, but come on, Jeremy. We're talking about like the Earth. We're not talking about like
but come on, man.
Galaxy.
You guys were talking about the solar system.
Don't worry about the dark matter.
System, we wouldn't. You just said for the solar system, we wouldn't ever have to talk about dark matter. But Left Lane got that wrong a week or two ago.
No,
Left Lane got that wrong a week or two when he said dark matter has nothing to do with the formation of stars. It actually does. You got that wrong.
No, you're talking about the lattice structure of the universe and providing a sort of nesting ground for stars to form. But the actual formation of the star, the interaction of the molecules and the dust does not involve dark matter whatsoever.
That's semantics, bro. You're just trying to get away. Trying to get away from being wrong, dude. Just admit it.
Google it right now. Anybody can Google it right now and find out that dark matter is crucial.
When you come up with them,
can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me, B-Ball?
Let me go next.
Can I get on that list too?
You can Google. Who wants to get in? We'll make a list.
I want to get in,
When
Torah.
you come up with a model that works, a model that explains.
We'll do B-Ball, then. Bro, dude, I'm making a list, bro. What are you doing, man? Yo, you're out of control, B-Ball. I'm in the middle of making a list.
Go ahead, man.
I don't even remember what I was going to say now. Yeah, I know. Just go on mute, bro. You can't. You have no etiquette.
I do.
We'll go B-Ball, then I forgot what I was going to say, so we'll just go B-Ball. Dude, hold on,
just
man.
keep giving us things that formed way before the Earth, the thing that you needed gravity to make into a sphere. We look and we have to make up 96% of the mass there. We have to say it's missing. And that's how we explain it. So therefore, it's a possibility that your theory on gravity is wrong.
Great. Now, does that mean that things don't fall?
No, sir.
Does
not
that
at
mean
all.
that does that mean that all the other evidence of the Earth being a globe is null and void?
Hey, what's your real name? Wait. What's your real name in real life? Is it Tuquoque? Is that like your real name? Because you keep doing that.
I forgot. That's the flavor of the week.
No, it's
dude,
just
it's all good.
You do constantly, and
try
it's
to learn it.
extremely disruptive. That's why people are bringing it up. You might
Well,
not
it's
know
no
what
big.
it is, but when someone brings up a point or a claim and your response is, no, you, that's a too cool fallacy and it's extremely disruptive to any type of coherent conversation. Please stop
It's
doing it.
funny because I've never heard of it, and all of a sudden now I'm hearing it every other sentence. So it must be the flavor of the week.
No,
That's
what
God trying to
happens is
teach you something.
what happens is sometimes, like, you buy like a red Toyota, and then all of a sudden you notice there's a ton of red Toyotas on the street.
Exactly.
You know, so,
Exactly.
so they-
All right.
yeah, yeah.
Toyotas are green. B-Ball, you've been doing this for years. We just haven't been calling it out until recently. That's what's going on.
Oh, okay, sure. Like I
Dude, it's
said,
like
you guys come
saying
up with
if
a
you
if it,
interrupt
if they,
people, is that like the flavor of the day? Because people keep calling you out for interrupting? No, it's just a thing that you're doing that's extremely disruptive. So please stop doing
Okay.
it.
so you know what it is? It's called whataboutism. Okay? That's what 2K is. It's the person who goes, but what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? You're not addressing the point that has actually been put forward to you. You just keep pushing it away. And what happens is people get frustrated because they think you're not interested in actually coming to a conclusion on the
No,
point that was
the
made.
thing is, no one's interested in actually listening to some of the things that I put forward because you guys know the Earth is flat. Oh, we know it's flat. We don't have to look at anything. But
I
for
don't know
No,
the
years,
earth
I've
is
been
basically,
on
flat.
we would
here.
say we
And
don't
I've
want to hear what
provided.
you're saying. If
Okay.
that was true, we would say we don't want to hear from you, but we're giving you the
Yeah,
space.
okay, sure.
I'm not a flat earther, b-ball. I know I used to
Yes,
be,
come
but
on,
I
Taurus.
renounced
Come
the
on.
flat earth. And I'm no
I
longer
don't
a
believe you.
flat earther. I don't
I
believe
don't
in the
believe you.
flat earth.
I don't believe you.
You really do, though. You think levels horizontal.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
I think
gotta
horizontal.
invent. You
That's
have to
just like
invent a
Bev.
new
That's
word. You
flat
can't
Bev
earth
just take
shit,
says
our
the
bro.
same
words.
thing. Yeah, Bev says the
I,
same thing. He's not a flat earther.
I think level is level and horizontal is horizontal. You know the reason that Bev says that is because he's looking for the real globe. And you see, you don't have it because you don't want to
Oh,
incorporate all the aspects of
what
your
is
model. You
but
want to
what is the real
cherry
globe
pick
though?
the certain areas of your model that you agree with,
What
and then that's what you're taking into the debate. But we want the real globe. We want the whole cohesive model. That's what Bev is
and what
asking
is that?
for. And no one can provide it. And just like Gio said
What would
earlier,
that look like though?
it's not that crazy for someone to say, I don't know the entirety, even your hot mic. I don't know the
What would the real
entirety
globe look like
of
though?
the I don't know the entirety of the earth is the same thing like you don't know the entirety of the universe and
So,
you're okay with that.
how,
So we're just taking
so
it one step
oh God,
before that and saying we don't know the entirety of the earth, which I think you'd agree with too because there's parts of the oceans that we haven't
no,
even gone
I
to.
don't
So
agree
we
with that.
don't know the
I don't
entirety
believe
of
that.
the earth even in your own model.
No, I don't believe that because people have been all over the globe. So places that we haven't been.
Yeah, you
We've been
haven't been
all
to
over
the
the globe.
bottom of
So
Wiki
you
Wachi
can sit here
Springs.
and claim that we haven't been. We don't have the entirety of the Earth map, which we do, right? Right. But my question
No,
to
we
you is,
don't.
how do you? If you have never seen it, how would you know that you've never actually seen it?
We don't have the entirety of the earth mapped out because we don't have all the
We
springs.
do though.
All of the
That we haven't been.
Yeah, you
We've been
haven't been
all
to
over
the
the globe.
bottom of
So
Wiki
you
Wachi
can sit here
Springs.
and claim that we haven't been. We don't have the entirety of the Earth map, which we do, right? Right. But my question
No,
to
we
you is,
don't.
how do you? If you have never seen it, how would you know that you've never actually seen it?
We don't have the entirety of the earth mapped out because we don't have all the
We
springs.
do though.
All of the
We do.
springs, like the spring heads that we
Okay.
have on the earth, we're discovering them still to this day. We have not
The
mapped out
spring.
every single
Oh,
one.
you mean like a tiny little the tiny pockets of places that are kind of little slightly inaccessible?
No,
Okay. Sure.
I'm talking about places like Wiki Wachi Springs where we can't even get
Right.
to the depth of to know what comes out. So therefore we haven't mapped that part because we haven't even been
Oh,
there yet.
Yeah,
well,
because
we've
the
actually taken a
visitors
picture
only can
from far
penetrate
away.
about a
So
kilometer or so through the
right,
surface.
we've taken a picture from far away. So I think we're okay.
Well,
Okay, dude.
that's not a valid we. That's government agents did that you believe. I don't. That's not a valid we.
Yeah.
Yep, sure. Yep.
Well, it's
They're
true.
lying
Yeah,
to
who
us.
the fuck is we, bro?
They're lying to us. Yep. You know what we know what we could do? We could all get together. We could put all of our money together and we could set up a balloon and we could take a picture of it. That's what we could do.
Yeah, and
but
we do that,
and then you
We
do.
do it.
then the Earth looks like it has
If you did,
upturned edges.
No, it doesn't.
even if you did that, no matter
You cut out, Jeremy. Where'd you
what
go?
you saw, just remember the geometry of what. I don't know how. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're delayed, man.
Even if you sent up a balloon and looked at and got way high, you're just looking at the flat part on a globe, the horizon. It's like a cut off
Actually, no.
piece. It's like a cut off piece of an orange. It's planar. Your
No,
horizon
it's
is a
not.
plane.
It's not planar,
It's
though.
a geometric
Jeremy, come on.
plane. It's a
Jeremy, it's
geometric
not.
plane.
Jeremy, it's not.
You can't
planar,
steal
though.
me in your own model. You can't steal me in
It's
your own
not.
shit, dude.
It's not planar. Yeah, we can because all you gotta do is send up a non-distorted lens, right? Not a GoPro.
Yeah.
You
The
set up a
geometry.
non-distorted lens, and you will see the curvature.
Dude,
The
that's the
geometry.
argument.
I know you would see that it's curving. Of course, you would see that it's curving. You're above a circle.
It shouldn't be,
Obviously,
though.
it's going to curve. Can you
It
just stop
shouldn't.
and let me go? Can you
It
stop and
shouldn't
let me
curve,
go? Can you stop and let me go? I'm just going to tempt you, bro. You can't fucking do it. Every time I talk, you interrupt me. It's obnoxious.
He just can't, dude. It's like a psychological complex he has, I think. I mean, with all due respect, he's been doing it for years. He just can't do it. It's just like impossible. It's like a mental tick or something. But go ahead.
Okay, this is the snail man of the globe right here. That the horizon all around you would be like peeling off the orange, like cutting a slice out of an orange, like the little top chunk of an orange, and then that flat part all around you is the horizon. That's the geometry of the horizon on a globe. So even if you did get up way high and go see that, you're just looking at the geometrically flat part that would obviously look curved because you're above a circle on a globe.
Not to mention it's circular logic to say I can go outside and look at it and therefore it is a sphere. So it's circular there too.
Okay, so what about all those videos that flat earthers used to put out showing how when they set up a balloon, it looks flat?
Do you remember? Did you see how you started your sentence with "what about"? And I told you two okay fallacies are "what aboutisms," and you literally just said "what about" to start your sentence, dude.
Why not just address what I said?
That's actually hilarious.
Right. It's just ironic that you're asking him to address what you said when the entire every time anyone makes a point, instead of addressing
nobody
what
wants to
they
address
say,
it though, right? Hold on.
Right,
Stop. Hold on 1 second.
How old are you, dude? Are you a
my
child? Stop interrupting every time, dude.
it's just a little bit
Nah,
ironic.
he can't
to
do it, bro.
say
I gotta
you
just leave him
didn't-
on server mute.
Thank you.
I'll just finish my quick point. It's just ironic to say, why don't you address what I said when just people are making very specific points to what you've said over and over again, and then every time they do, you come in with a "what about this thing that I don't think adds up." It's just it's extremely
like I laid out.
Hold on, I'm gonna
laid out
unmute.
some
I'm gonna
dope-
unmute. Hold on, I'm gonna unmute B-Ball. It seems like that's not like just to leave him on mute. But can I just say, Jeremy? Okay, B-Ball. I would have responded to that in a good faith response, just so you know. So I don't really think all these explosions after that are necessarily valid. He's just saying if Jeremy's saying, "Hey, it looks like a circle," then he's right. B-Ball. There's nothing wrong about what he's saying. He's saying, "What about flat earthers that say the horizon looks flat?" It's a valid point. Is it not a valid point that
it's not? It's a 2-4K fallacy.
It is, because he's saying, "What about flat earthers who say it looks flat?" That goes against.
No, I'm
what
sorry,
Jeremy
Gio, but it is a 2-4K fallacy.
Hold on, wait,
So if you
guys.
bring up a point,
I got this,
about
yeah, real quick, Gio. The problem.
It's a conversation. It goes back and forth.
I
He's
know,
comparing.
but if Jeremy brings up a specific point, and then we go to a different subject every time instead of actually getting what B-Ball thinks about the point that was just said, rather than moving on again.
Play fallacy, bro.
All right,
Yeah,
to
like
a degree,
Gio.
I hear what you're saying to a degree, but his response is not completely invalid. Like I could have responded that in good faith. I could have said, Okay, I hear you, B-Ball. You're right. On the other side, there are flat earthers that say it looks perfectly flat. But Jeremy's saying that it would look like a circle. So which one? Because there's nuance to all that. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. What do you want B-Ball to respond to so badly that he couldn't come back with that?
I don't know.
What does he need to respond?
This is what he needs to respond to. I got you.
Jeremy
We don't-
claimed it was a plain circle. He already called it flat.
Yeah. We don't know if V-Ball agrees with the actual steel man of what Jeremy is saying about if you go up high enough, whether you be on a flat earth or a globe, if it's a circle or a globe, it's going to curve. Therefore, you cannot determine what the shape is by going up.
Okay. So, just like I was trying to say, and I'm gonna say it, please don't cut me off. Thank you, Gio. I appreciate what you did there. What about? Yep, I'm gonna say it.
What about?
All the videos
Just let me
that
respond
we've
to it.
seen, hold on. All the
Don't interrupt
videos
him.
that flat earthers have shown us showing a flat horizon, right? All those videos that you guys used to post where it shows at a certain height, the horizon looks flat. So is it flat or is it supposed to be curved? Which one is
Let
it?
me respond to this, please.
Wait, real quick. I got 3 words.
Why?
What about them?
All right, so B-Ball, I hear why you're responding that way in your mindset. I can understand why. I don't think it's some like extremely like horrible fallacious thing to respond, but I do understand what they're saying as well, that you didn't really address directly what Jeremy says. You did jump to what about the other side. Can you at least understand that? So maybe we could just cover both of them. Like maybe you could respond to Jeremy's thing and then you could say, hey, I have an additional point. What about this the fact that
Yes,
that would be a good way to do it. Yeah, if he responded to my point directly and then said, yeah, go ahead.
Let me respond.
Exactly.
Yes, Jeremy. If the Earth is a flat disc in whatever, it's going to look curved. Yes.
But if the Earth is a globe, you're not addressing the point. If the Earth
It's
is
gonna
a
look curved
globe,
also.
the horizon is a plane is a geometrically flat circle. The horizon.
Yeah, but it's going to look curved.
Right. It's going to look. It's a flat circle though. On the globe is a flat circle.
It's a circle, yeah.
Right.
A circle around you. Yes.
It's a flat circle. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go up high and look out there, if we go up high and look out and it looks curved or it looks flat, either way, the thing we're looking at in your model is geometrically flat. So what?
Because what are you saying, B-Ball?
So now I'm saying which one is correct? Is it supposed to be flat or is it supposed to be curved?
It's flat and both of them are flat. The horizon on a globe and the flat Earth, they're both flat. You didn't listen to what I was saying, did you? Did you hear me?
No.
Planar circles, he said.
There's 2 points being made. B-Ball, what he's saying is that on a globe, if you went up at a high altitude and then you're just seeing a portion of the ball, see, I would actually say, I mean, if you get far enough away and you see it as a ball, I think even Jeremy doesn't think that. But anyways, if you were to see just a portion of it and your eyeball, you're going down to the horizon at 360 degree, every angle, that angle is going to be the same all the way around you. And then all those points would be like a hula hoop and they would all be coplanar if you just took those points to the horizon. Okay, you agree with that? So that's like a circle, like a hula hoop. On a flat Earth where you could not see infinitely far, you can only see a certain limit based on clouds and conditions and light and all of that. Then you would also be seeing a limited circle on a plane. So you agree so far. Then going up at altitude, what are you using to define? And I hear what you're saying. There are flat earthers that say it looks perfectly flat. That goes against Jeremy's argument that it would always look like a circle. So that was the point B-Ball brought up. But I guess
so
yeah, that's fine. I hear you. A lot of our guys have shown pictures of the horizon and shown it to be flat. Maybe it's an optical thing. I don't know. It does look flat sometimes. I've seen it other times where it looks curved. Either way, it's both planar. It's either model, the globe or flat Earth. They're both planar circles we're viewing. So
yeah, but are we seeing the edge of the disc?
I don't know. Going up in a hot air balloon isn't gonna tell you that.
Well, no, it's not the edge. We're not seeing the edge. If you were to steel man the flat Earth position, they say there's like a radius to their vision. You know, so light can only travel a specific distance.
Oh yeah, it ain't.
So it's not
Yeah,
that
but
you're
okay.
seeing
I didn't even
edge
catch
of-
when he said edge. Yeah, you're not seeing the edge. You're just seeing how far you can see. You go up higher, you
Right,
can see a little bit farther.
but how exactly, if we're seeing a curved horizon, how exactly are we determining that it's flat if we're seeing a curved horizon?
It's not curved like what you're
It's
thinking.
geometrically flat, bro. In your model, the horizon itself, the outer circle of the horizon, that's geometrically flat in your model. In my
Like a
model,
hula hoop.
it's
Where's
also
that coming from, though?
geometrically flat.
What do you mean by
Sorry,
geometric?
what?
What is that?
Your mic's muffled.
Like a hula hoop.
Yeah, your horizon is like if you cut off the top of an orange, you would have that flat part there of the outer edge of the orange would be the horizon and be on a plane, a plane on a circle on a
Right.
plane.
What if we got the
So
circumference to diameter ratio of that circle?
How are we making a distinction between flat and globe, though? If they're both
Well, you're not going to
curved.
do it by the thing. We're not going to do it by no, they're both flat. And we're not going to do it the way you said by going up in a balloon, because now we're just looking at this thing that's geometrically flat in both models. So
Yeah, but Jeremy, what I'm saying is, how does it appear curved in both models? What you're saying, and we're determining it's actually flat.
You would have to
I don't
pace out. You would have to.
understand what the
I know
question
what he's
is.
saying. I
But
know what
the
he's
thing
asking.
You would
is,
have to. Yeah, you would have to pace out of that circle in your feet. You would have to pace the whole circle out, and then you'd have to
What?
pace out the diameter of that circle in your feet, and you would see if the feet ratio is 3.14 between the
Yeah,
diameter and the
I
circle.
think there's a better
Earth,
way.
are you
There's a
asking
better
if
way to
Jeremy
do it than
subscribe?
that.
Are you saying if Jeremy can make a determination one way or the other? You're saying no, right, Jeremy?
B-Ball
You're saying
said,
you can't.
B-Ball said, let's get all our money together and get a high altitude balloon and go look at the horizon, right?
Right. Yep.
Like
Right.
August Picard,
Either
who said it
way,
looks flat.
why would you start talking now? Either way, on the globe, it's geometrically flat. On the flat Earth, it's geometrically flat. Regardless of what we see, it's irrelevant because both things are geometrically flat. So
But if we did what I
why would
said,
we
right?
do that? Why would we do that? Because there's no, yeah, I know, but hold on, Tora. Why would we do the thing you said when they're the same thing?
You get
Yeah,
his point.
because
Earth is life.
Earth is life. A balloon, we can't get far enough in a balloon
Why not?
because hydrogen is the highest level. What are you going to use to get past hydrogen?
Well, I think the thing that I was saying, and I'm not sure if we're talking past each other. What I'm saying is like, how are we determining it's flat if in both models it looks curved, according to Jeremy?
Well, I don't know if anyone is concluding that just based off a high altitude balloon, at least not in this conversation. Is anyone determining that and saying, hey, you were trying to say, hey, let's do this and determine it. And then there's been rebuttals as to whether that determines it or not. There's already been high altitude balloons sent up. Some people might think it's conclusive, but many may not.
August Picard, the first man to get to the stratosphere twice or three times, confirmed that it's looks flat.
I don't know about that.
Dude, you have to pace out that circle.
Edges.
Yeah, you did.
He only
said
had the
flat with
horizon to
upturned.
look at.
And that upturned edges effect we see all the time when we go up. So you have to explain what refraction is causing that. That's a regular
I've never
occurrence
seen
that
that.
people go up. Yeah, that's
I've
what
never.
happens when we go up. Well, what
I've
kind of
never seen
cameras are you using? Have you ever seen one with a rectilinear lens? Have you ever seen it with your own eyes?
Yeah, several.
Because the people that go up with their own eyes see the horizon rise up.
And appear flat.
No, I don't think so. I've seen several videos where it doesn't appear flat. I've seen it.
Yeah, but
I've seen a video
what
where
lens? A
it was.
GoPro?
No, not a GoPro. Specifically, not a GoPro, because that's the last
What is it then? Which
lens
one
you
is
would
it?
like to use.
What lens is it?
A rectilinear lens.
All right, post the video.
Why does it matter though? The globe's geometrically flat. Our thing's geometrically flat. It's the same thing. Whatever it looks like, it could be either one. It's the
not
same thing. The globe has a geometrically flat horizon. Yes, it does, my man. It's like peeling a little top off an orange. And that outer circle is your horizon. A circle on a plane, flat.
Do you disagree with that, B-Ball?
He does. He doesn't understand it.
By the way,
Zanuck, he's disagreed the whole time with that.
Zanuck conceded to this, by the way. Zanuck has conceded to this, just for the record. He said it would not be able to be determined by high altitude. So,
do you know how many teeth I had to pull out of Zanuck's face to get him to say that?
You got to go high enough out, you're saying, then to see the whole thing. You got to see the 24,000 mile circumference, then would be the only actual way. And there's no balloon that allows you to do that.
Well, Jeremy says no.
No,
Jeremy,
no matter
Jeremy
how
says
high
no
you
to
get.
that, but I agree it would be at that point. But Jeremy says no.
Yeah, so you can see the equator, right? Let's say you can just see the horizon's now the equator, right? That's on a plane.
So now you would see a sun and a moon behind it and stuff. You would see stars off in the distance. You would see like some stars occulted by the earth, dude. At that point, bro, you gotta give it up.
Well, if you're adding a whole bunch of stars and suns and shit, I mean, bro, just looking at the horizon though, you're still just geometrically flat.
Right. But the moment that we try and demonstrate your model or try and show you guys what you're explaining, you guys call it a straw man.
Can I just mention something
That's
real
a
quick?
whataboutism again, dude. That's another
know.
thing.
It's crazy.
Go for it, Beasticles.
The thing is like, all right, you have the idea of boats going over the horizon, right? Going over the curvature of Earth.
Yeah, why would we believe that?
What?
Why would we believe that?
Good question. Good question.
That's a very good question. That was our question.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the middle of laying out his point. Can you just let him finish his point? We don't even know what he was going to say.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have boats going over the horizon, right? Disappearing bottom up, right? Bottom up obstruction. This is what Aristotle saw. This is what everyone agrees on in terms of that's why we think there's curvature there, right? But now, once we, with optics and how we can see farther, right? Now, we can't actually get high enough to even establish the curvature. So which one is it? That's to you, B-Ball.
Say your question again, because I didn't really catch your question.
Can you see curvature from the beach?
No.
Then what was Aristotle talking about?
You can't see now. Are you asking left to right curvature? No, you cannot.
No, what was Aristotle talking about then? If a boat's
Because
disappearing beyond the horizon, that's why there's curvature.
in the y-axis, front to back curvature, not left to right.
Yeah, and it's 1 degree per 69 miles.
Yep.
So you can see it from the ground, you think, when a boat is being constructed.
You can see the effects of curvature, but I don't like. The thing is, I don't like getting into arguments about looking at the horizon, because that usually goes nowhere. Because we when we get bogged down arguing about refraction, so it's not.
That was your argument, dude.
A minute ago, your go-to was you were going to get in a high altitude balloon and look at the horizon, my man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
come on,
that's above
I don't think
the
he
surface.
realizes it. I don't think
It's above the surface.
We're always looking at the horizon above the surface. We're always looking at the horizon above the surface.
There's other ways.
Kettle logic.
Below the
You agree?
surface.
What about
you below the surface looking at the horizon?
What about
when are we
distances,
below
Jeremy?
the?
Because you agree.
Right.
I know you agree with distances, right?
He's freaking out.
We
When are we below the horizon? He won't stop.
We should have a new rule.
When are we below the horizon? When are we below the horizon? Looking at the horizon.
We're never below the horizon.
Okay, so why your whole last point? See, that's what you got to do is when you're caught, just derail.
What are we? Who's caught?
Caught some other shit.
Caught what? Caught
Dude,
what?
you said that it was above the horizon.
Oh God! Go ahead. You guys are fucking arguing with each other. Go ahead.
No, it's
the way you debate is like this, and The way you debate is just disingenuous,
No,
dude. Go ahead,
I
guys.
like to use actual observations. I don't like to just talk about stuff. So if you'd like to actually debate me, I can set up my PC and we can go through some of the actual observations. How about that?
Earth is, dude, check it out, B-ball. The problem was the claim you made before was that if we go up high enough in a balloon and look at the horizon, then we can tell. And then the guy
That's one
said,
way.
well, if we look out at the horizon, and you said, I don't like looking out at the horizon for proofs, dude. Do you see that contradiction?
So what? Like okay, because the problem is
So what?
when it's
So
down.
what?
Hold on, wait,
That means
stop,
you're
stop. And I'm gonna
lying.
let me.
That means
You asked
you're
me a question.
lying.
You asked me a question, right? I'm gonna respond. So let me respond. So when it comes to looking at the horizon, right, especially when we're looking at the beach, now we're looking at the x-axis, looking out in the distance at things that are obstructed. You guys like to bring up refraction, right? Now that's front to back curvature. That's the effects of curvature. That's not left to right curvature, which is different from looking when being high above the surface. That's different.
Really, how?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah,
You
left
understand?
to right curvature would come into effect as the further out you went, for sure.
No, the
But
higher
the
you go.
balloon, the higher, dude, the further out from the center is higher in your model. See, this is the thing that is frustrating is I am trying to steelman the globe best I can, and then you're telling me higher as if up and down is the same thing for everyone.
Okay. And what?
Dude, just let him have his ball. Just let him believe he's on a ball. It's okay.
And it's
I know.
perfectly fine,
There's a
dude, for
reason.
you to
Why don't you
believe
ask
that.
me? Ask me
It's
why. Ask
okay.
me why. I know we're on a sphere. Ask me why.
We know, dude, we know why you believe Earth is a sphere. We
I know.
all
So
also
why?
went through the schooling and the
No.
understanding, so much so
Had
to the extent that all of these guys in here in the flat Earth know more about the globe
had
than any
nothing to do with the
typical
sphere.
schooled person, to the point
Had
that they
nothing to do
could
with
tell
sphere.
you the speed it's traveling around
Yep.
the
Me too.
sun.
So can
They
I.
could tell you the speed the sun is traveling. They could tell you the
Yep. So can
radius.
I.
They could tell you the angle. Dude, I know.
Dude,
So can I.
Okay, so then
relax,
therefore, if
relax.
they know all that same stuff and they don't believe it, that's the issue, bro. We get it. We all know the same stuff. Just some
Bro, what?
people
Right.
don't believe it.
So what's the problem?
Hey, but pause real quick. Pause real quick. Tora, think about what you just said. I actually thought about this for a while. Like, what if anti-flat earthers, like the ones like, that really just make horrible arguments and actually cause more people to look
Oh, I
into
have
flat
horrible.
Earth?
Okay.
No, not
Yep,
you.
I got
Well,
horrible argument.
sometimes you, but I'm not saying specifically just you. I'm just saying in general was to
Right.
actually get
If you'd
people
like to
to
actually
learn
debate
more
me, let
about the
me know.
model. Hey, do you hear me talking? I'm not, dude.
If you
Relax.
would actually like to debate me, we can set up an actual
Can you
debate where I
please
can
just
actually
stop
bring
talking?
real
Dude, it's an
evidence.
open conversation. He was in the middle of speaking. Once again, please stop interrupting.
Yeah, but I'm just
All right.
making a point real quick, okay? I was gonna say, what if partly the rollout of flat Earth was to actually get people to learn about the model?
Yeah, the anti-flat earther is actually the flat earther's best friend because his arguments are so fallacious to the point that people will now look into flat earth.
Right. And therefore know more about the model that they need to steelman in order to go against and argue against properly. I've learned so much in the last 4 years in this conversation about Earth and Earth physics and stuff. Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't
About
just talk
fake
about
earth.
things. I actually show things. If you'd like to actually debate me, let me know.
Can you show restraint? That'd be cool.
I was on mute for a while, so yeah. So if you'd like to actually debate me, let me know because I'll actually bring evidence and you won't bring evidence.
I just want you to
Okay.
know, B-Ball, I
Bro,
got
this
mad
is like
love
some
for you,
Brenda.
dude.
This is like some Brenda shit, dude. Brenda used to debate us for like an hour and then be like, "When are we gonna debate?"
Okay, why don't you just
Dude, we're doing it
restrain
I'm
right
not
this?
now.
debating. We're just
Brainfuck.
having a
Restrain
conversation.
this, boy. Restrain this, okay?
Be careful,
I don't know
B-Ball.
who
You
that
might get
was,
hit
but
by D.
This isn't really a debate. This is just a conversation. I wouldn't call this a debate.
Yeah, I'm
I haven't brought
basically
any evidence yet.
so
I'll
I'm
debate
basically
you.
here.
What would you like to debate, B-Ball? You want to debate
I would like
if
to
the Earth
debate
is a
you.
globe or not?
The shape of
If
the
the
earth.
Earth is, how about we debate? You take the
24 hours.
affirmative. Hold on, check it out.
24
I got you. You take the affirmative. Earth is a sphere, and I say Earth is not a sphere. How about we do that?
Okay. No, you'd have to take Earth is flat, and you'd have to bring evidence for that. How about that?
No. I'm gonna take.
Yeah.
We're gonna set up the. We're
Nope.
gonna set it up like this: Is Earth a
No.
sphere? And then I'm gonna
Like
take
you guys
the
are a bunch of
negative. You
retards.
take
Like,
the
let's be
affirmative.
honest.
Hold on, hold on.
You guys are low
Hold on.
IQ people to believe flat.
Okay, we're gonna mute that guy. Hey, bite-sized news. I don't know if you're new here, but if there's someone talking, please try not to interrupt. I'm gonna unmute you, but just know that.
Can I?
Okay.
We
Can
could
I
let him.
talk?
We could let him go. Go ahead, brother. What were you saying?
Yes, I would like to say that you guys are not very intelligent. You just have low IQ, and I would like to provide evidence for that. And the evidence is: do you believe in flat Earth?
No, I do not believe in flat Earth.
Who believes in flat Earth?
Are you here to just ridicule people of their beliefs?
This guy's
I'm here
crazy.
to judge you
I heard
because
your
I'm
mom
above
believes in
you
flat
all.
Earth.
All
He's
you
looking for a
people are
debate
lesser
in
than me.
Nevada.
I am superior than all you.
We should
all
unleash
you
the
people
Torah.
here.
Believes in
We'll
flat
I
see
Earth.
about
believe
that.
this guy. I
Who is
believe
this guy?
him.
Wait, who is this guy?
You heard me.
What's going on
You
here?
heard me.
I
Unleash
believe
the
you,
Torah.
dude. I
I'm the
believe
most
that
intelligent.
high IQ causes suffering. So it's better
Yes,
off that you're middle of the
I'm a
road.
regular dude. I'm not high IQ at all. I'm a regular
No,
fucking
not
dude.
you, Earth.
Not
Not
you,
you, Earth.
brother.
Line.
The other guy.
He was talking
He
to the
wants
other
to.
guy.
He wants to play.
So
That's okay.
I'm gonna set up my PC. If anyone wants to actually debate me and actually bring evidence for the flat Earth, I'm more than willing
Hey, Earth
to
is
go
life,
toe
bro.
to toe. Let me know.
Regardless of
Does
which
anyone
side you
want
take of the debate, when you set up your PC, I got you, bro, in terms of optimization.
Okay, so you're gonna bring. I'm gonna just ask you for evidence for flat Earth, and I'm not gonna bring anything.
Or don't.
He's gonna help you optimize your PC. Beast is amazing at doing that.
Yeah, we can give you the hookup. Oh, he's gone. He don't need no flat Earth help.
He got his clip of you agreeing to the debate.
Well, B-Ball does sometimes leave and he comes back and says he got a phone call. I think he just either leaves or when he gets a call. So I don't know.
Nah,
Just
no, I'm just
to be
it's
charitable,
fine.
he might have just said.
I like
actually had a-
B-ball. I like Earth is dude.
Right when he was on the ropes.
I like him because
Just
he's been around for so long and he is so like steadfast in his belief that, you know, at least you know where he's coming from.
That's not a reason to like someone.
Why?
That's the lowest ball you
Some people
to
are
like someone.
Globers. Oh, some people are Globers just because they hate like Nathan Oakley or something. You know what I mean? Just because they're doing something, they're doing it out of spite, right? Like
And
this
so
guy
what? They come and speak to
believes.
other people that are
No,
not
this guy
Nathan Oakley.
believes. No, I'm saying this guy really believes.
Yeah, I know that.
I
Yeah, I mean, you
respect
can praise the thing that you adore so much that you you've got a choice either to spend time with it and the people that like it, or go seek out the opposition and basically try to lambast them because that makes you feel bigger and better.
Yeah, I don't know about the latter part. I don't get why people do that. It's weird to me. But dang, that's a good point.
That's the entertaining animus, man.
So
They got to get it out.
here now.
Yo, but you ever think about that though, Tora? What I was saying, like they act like there's something to the idea of, you know, this entire discussion in and itself is actually getting people to be more focused on physics than any other topic ever.
They would make great slaves.
I know more about physics now than I ever have.
Yeah, right, dude. It's like maybe it was the answer to like our shitty
What
ass
about
like education system.
Jeremy? Remember when you said I was supposed to give you a physics textbook and you were supposed to read it and you never read it?
Audiobook.
Yeah, the audiobook. Remember that?
Did you give me an audiobook?
I gave you it fucking several times, man.
Oh, let me get it.
I don't remember. Send it
Yeah,
to Tora. I'm gonna have Tora read it and tell me if it's any good.
I'll read it for you, Jeremy.
It was
Yeah, I mean, I probably learned more about physics in that than even is in that book at this point. How many years
right.
ago was that?
Okay.
How many years ago was that?
This
I
was
learned
like
a lot from Tora reading books
back
for
back
me.
on Jose's, man.
Oh, back when you used to say if you took three mountaintops and drew straight lines to them, not
I
curving in
never
any
said that.
axis, that yeah, you guys were in Jose's arguing that, bro. You're the worst Glober from Jose's as far as like knowledge goes of the model.
I'm the worst Glober from Jose's, huh?
As
You're
when
in
it comes
top
to like
5 in my
Okay.
book.
when it comes to like knowledge of how things work, yeah, you're like the bottom
Right.
tier.
Right. But who
Jeremy,
actually brings the
easy,
most
bro.
evidence to things, though,
Jeez.
Jeremy?
Bro, he brings the pictures. He's got the picture of that hotel, bro. You know there's ladies on the beach there,
He's
but you
got
can't
heart,
see them.
Jeremy.
See, he
That's a
concealed it.
pretty That's a pretty harsh burn, bro. B-ball, you're not the worst ever, bro. That's a pretty harsh burn.
I
You
know, I
got
know, I
heart,
know, I
Bro,
know.
Jeremy.
you're not the
Jeremy just
worst.
like to
You're
say,
not the
Jeremy just
worst
like to
Glober
say that.
ever. You're not the worst Glober ever, but you better hope that guy doesn't die.
I think I'm better than Nash and Chill. How about that? I'm at least better than Nash and Chill.
Well,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
100%,
way.
100%.
you might be number 1 and number 2 interrupters. That you win on that one.
Come on,
That's
stop.
true. That's true.
In a debate, though, I know how to I will
Bro,
give you your time.
you know what a debate is, though, right? You got to take the negative or the affirmative. Remember when Tora was like, "Yo, I'll take you on sphere shape." The
Yeah, sure.
negative to sphere is not a sphere.
Yeah, but the thing is, you guys, the point is, whenever we try and debate you about the shape of the Earth, and you guys claim it's flat, we don't want to talk about the globe. We want to talk about flat Earth. We want you guys to show evidence for the flat Earth, not try and
Hey,
say how you think the globe is wrong.
no,
Every
flat Earth,
measurement,
that is flat Earth,
That's the
not
Self-evident.
problem.
globe.
That's the
Self-evident.
problem.
every measurement of level that's ever been taken, a real measurement, not no bullshit guessing game measurement, an actual measurement. Every measurement of level has been measured horizontal.
Tell me, Jeremy. Yep. Tell us how we have no measurements at all. None.
You
Absolutely
have
none.
no measurements at
Got no
all,
Yep.
at
measurements at
all,
all.
None at all. No one's
at
ever
all,
measured anything. Yep. There we go.
I'll
ever,
say it
never,
again.
never,
Ever.
ever,
We
Yep.
got humping
never,
That's
ever,
lakes.
a
never, ever.
great position to take.
It's a true position. That's why I can take it.
Sure.
All you got to
Well,
do
level.
is provide one example to the contrary, bro. That's it. You win the
Mhm.
debate.
Yep. So in
Anything
a
he
debate
has is going to
in
have
a debate against
refraction or
me, so
something in
check this
it,
out.
but the actual tangible measurements of level is
So,
all
so,
horizontal. Like
so
anything
check
he
out.
comes with is going to be GPS or something that involves refraction, which now they're just guessing on which way the light's bending, and then it's not a measurement anymore.
Yep. Nobody knows
So
which
you're
way light
saying
bending at all. Nope. So
in
in a
order for
debate with
something to,
me, you're gonna have to go against the 24-hour sun. You have to go against flights in the southern hemisphere, and you're gonna have to go against my observations.
So no measurements.
No
can
measurements. No
can
measurements.
I make
Got it.
something level that's not horizontal, Jeremy?
Sure.
That sounds like a fucking trick question. I
Wait,
feel like the
wait.
answer is
Your
no, just because
question?
B-Ball said yes.
What was your question?
Can I make something level that is not horizontal?
No,
Yeah, I'd say no. I'd say no.
No,
you
the
can.
ontology of horizontal is level. So level, the being level and the
So
being horizontal are ontologically the same thing.
if the Earth
Well, they
isn't a
measure to be
globe,
the same. They measure, all the measurements show that they're the same thing.
Well,
if the
hold
Earth
on.
isn't a globe,
Hold on 1 second.
then what is it?
1 second. I think you're wrong about that, Torah. Because ontologically, they actually do define them differently. Like I have the surveying book, and they specifically define level lines versus horizontal lines, right? And they say the difference between the level and horizontal is so negligible that you might as well just treat them the same.
Okay. So my idea, what I was thinking of is I think level is what water does. And to prove water is horizontal, I always use the water level tool because in reality, that's a tool and it sets up a horizontal plane. You know what I mean? So level to me is like what water does. I'm not thinking horizontal off the bat, but maybe over long distances. Yeah, I would assume so.
I volunteer you, Tora, to read this passage out loud. It's hilarious. Speaking of audiobook, here we go. So this is from a surveying book. It's from 1998. I wish Subil was here. I would love to hear what he would say. All right, give me a second. There it is. Okay. Are you ready, Tora?
Yeah, we're
About
at.
to break SE off with his memes when you're done.
Yes, he's got some nice ones in the chat already.
Go ahead, Beast.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's the book. Just so you know, I'm not just pulling this source out of my butt. All right. If you go to chapter 2, which is called leveling, it actually gives you the definition right here. So level and horizontal lines, all right? Tor, I want you to read this in your beautiful voice. Ah, it's loading. Hold on. Come on, dang it. Okay. Right there and here. Do you see it, Tora? Oh, I put it in audience text. My bad. I'll repost it in live stream. Are you indisposed, Tora? Can you not read it in your voice? Right. Noah, can you
Not
read
right now.
now?
Not right now. Actually, sorry, brother. Can you read it for us?
Yeah, I'll read it. The terms level and horizontal line are used frequently in leveling and need to be carefully defined. A level line or surface is defined as a line along which all points are of the same height. Because the Earth is curved, level lines are also curved, as shown in Figure 2.1. Consequently, when using an optical or digital level to determine height differences, measurements should be taken from curved level lines. God, what a sentence, right? All right. A horizontal line is one which is normal to the direction of gravity, the vertical. At a particular point, such as P in figure 2.2, horizontal lines or surfaces are therefore tangential to level lines at individual points. When an optical or digital level is set up correctly, it defines a horizontal line for measurement of height differences. And this would seem to contradict the need to measure along curved level lines. However, for most survey work, the difference between a horizontal line and a level line, called curvature, is small enough to be ignored, and it can be assumed that level and horizontal lines are the same. And I quote from a surveying book for engineers.
Yeah, that's what they say. They can't tell the difference.
Like, what is the point of having the difference there other than to be like, oh yeah, you guys, we forgot. Earth's the ball, remember? Oh yeah. Okay, we got to put that definition in there. Okay, cool. Like, that's the only reason why I would see them needing to do that. Oh, where's Earth's life now, dude?
It's crazy to come up with the idea of horizontal if nothing is actually horizontal. But if it is indistinguishable, you would just assume that, from the small scale, but I mean, it seems pretty reasonable, but I don't know, how can you assume?
Well, that's the crazy thing. It's like, I actually agree with a horizontal line, which is normal to the direction of gravity, the vertical at a particular point. Right? You set up a plumb bob, down is down. You know what I mean?
Plumb lines are parallel, you're saying.
Plumb lines are parallel, man. That's it.
Plumb lines are not parallel. That can be
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
Hey, Ned.
about the level line being horizontal or not, like, and it being indistinguishable. But the thing is, if it's 8 inches over a mile, I mean, I think there's certain surveyors that say they can get within a few millimeters of accuracy within a mile. So why shouldn't you just easily be able to measure the curve in a mile and call it a day?
Exactly.
And you can. It's been done.
Okay. Yeah,
Well,
Maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a sine wave. You know, because that makes more sense. That would hold water. You know what I mean?
Earth is a
Bro,
sine wave.
you guys can't even. They can't even. They can't
like
even
that.
measure plumb. They can't. If it was wavy Earth, you're talking about wavy Earth.
Well, it kind of is with elevation, but and the oceans, it is kind of all sine wavy.
Wavy Earth is a wave. Geo 2026.
We're on a
Yo,
wave.
they can't even measure plumb
You're
lines.
riding the wave or not?
They can't even measure plumb lines having the correct deviation at, like, I don't know what the main surveyor did, like 1,000 feet or something. He even had to add refraction in, because if you just take the actual measurement of the angle that the theodolites are, you debunk the globe radius if you're going to say, all right, this is the measurement. So they have to add refraction in, even at that small amount. I think he did it at like 1,000 feet or 1,400 feet or something. So
wow, you mean you have to account for the atmosphere when you're living in an atmosphere? Astounding.
yeah, but once you account for the atmosphere, you're just playing guessing games now, because you don't have any actual measurements on which way the light's bending. You just have like guesses.
Astounding. We actually have an atmosphere, so we have to account for it. Wow. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but you can't use it to make a fake globe argument. That's the problem.
Yeah, with your fake ass globe bullshit. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't want to not account for the atmosphere, since we live in an atmosphere.
There's a difference between accounting for it and then measuring it.
Accounting for it with a bias that makes something into a globe when it's not. That's the problem.
Oh,
yeah,
no, then
we're
don't
talking
account
about
for it.
actual measurements, though. You don't have any actual measurements.
Yeah, well, actually, you are measuring, but that's okay. You know, backside theodolite backsides. You know, all plumb bobs are not parallel.
You don't have any measurements of that. If you do, you're going to debunk the globe radius. If you take those measurements, you're going to debunk the globe radius, because there's refraction happening, and you won't come out with the correct globe radius.
Actually, you show the globe radius.
So there's no refractions happening.
Well, you know, you see, you guys have to use it. That's why you do the Eratosthenes measurement. When the sun comes straight down, you don't have to worry about refraction.
You still won't get the correct. No.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I've done it. I got pretty good. I was within 5%.
You only do it when the sun's directly above you, 90 degrees.
Oh, it's solar noon when it's the greatest it's going to be. See, anything above
like
20.
So it's not 90 degrees.
Anything above like 20 degrees above the horizon, you can basically ignore refraction.
And anything below 90, anything below 90, basically ignore means you're not going to get a globe radius.
Let's say
anything below 90, anything below 90, you're going to have refraction according to your globe model.
It's correct. That's correct, but it's not enough to worry once you're above, say, 20 degrees or so.
But it'll make your globe radius not correct.
It'll make it pretty. Like I said, you get pretty close to the.
Pretty close. We're doing horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah, but we're doing. You know, every measurement has an error in it. You're familiar with that?
This isn't a tool error. This is a which way the light's bending thing, and there's no measurement for it. You know, so
every measurement has an error to it, and we know.
I know, but this isn't a measurement error. This is a physical effect that's happening that's not been measured.
Incorrect again. We know about light bending, and again, when you're above 20 degrees above,
that's all you say is That's all you do is you say you know which way it's bending. You don't have an actual measurement of which way it's bending.
We do actually. Yeah, we do actually.
There isn't one. Come at one. Bring it.
You're saying that
you have no globe evidence. I've been asking you for 10 years for
globe
evidence.
You have
no globe evidence. Bring your measurement.
I have no globe.
What's your measurement?
Yeah, after all these years, you don't bring any globe evidence. I mean,
Eratosthenes. My God, Eratosthenes.
You have no globe measurements. No globe measurement. That's not a measurement. We just went through that. That's not a measurement. You don't have any measurement of which way the light's bending. You said you did have a measurement of which way the light's bending, but you're not coming with one.
We do know how light
all
bends.
you say is you
Yeah.
know which way it's bending. You never come with a measurement.
Right.
You just say we know. You never come
Well,
with a
they
measurement.
measure for a long time. Look at the want to see the Navy, the National Observatory looked at star setting for a long time and saw how light affects them. Man, we know about this, Jeremy. We've
No,
known about this
you
for
have no
hundreds of
bring the
years.
measurement. Bring the measurement or you don't have a measurement.
Right, right. You know, if I
If you
bring the
don't bring the
measurement, you'll say
measurement, you
it's
don't
not
have a
different.
measurement.
Right. So, and talking to the guy that has no measurements for anything, but you want
I have
to.
measurements for level all day, level measuring
No, you
horizontal
don't.
all day. All day.
No, level and
I give
horizontal are
you a
not the same thing.
zillion examples of level being horizontal.
Level and
You don't
horizontal.
have a
No, level
single
and
measurement.
horizontal, not the same thing.
That was another
You
two
don't
coke way, by the way. That was technically another two coke way.
There you go.
You asked him
Oh, is
for
that
the
the
I
thing, and
gotta
he
fucking
said,
word?
stop calling it
That's
out,
the
or else
word of the
I'd be
day.
like, I'd
Level
lose
and
my
horizontal are
voice.
not the same thing. How many times do you have to post it for you? How many times do you have to
It's the
tell you?
fallacy of the week.
What?
Gio,
The
I'd
level and
lose my
horizontal are
voice
not
if
the
I
same thing?
called them all out when Pate's in here, man.
well, it's because it's in a quick evasion is the thing. Like if someone asks you something, it's much
Do you say
harder. It
equivocation
can
or
be
quick evasion?
it. No, it's a quick evasion. It can be because I mean the thing is I could see it being a valid like retort though in some cases where it's like, well, what about this? Because you're kind of comparing it, but at the same time, it does often because like Jeremy asked him for something, he said, well, what about whatever? Yeah, it's the whataboutism. It's a good way to evade from whatever
Yes,
Jeremy said. Whatever
I've asked.
Jeremy. This is what. Hold on, Nasa, chill. Hold on. I'm not calling you a narcissist, but it is actually what people that have NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, it's what they do is they instantly try to get you on the offensive or start to get you on the defensive. I mean, they try to get you defending your position very quickly, you know, and often will use something to evade to try to get you defending yourself, you know, instead of like.
I just want some I just want some flat Earth evidence. I've been asking for years for anything that proves the Earth to be flat, and you guys provide shit. In the
If you
meantime,
want
What
to
about
argue,
Gio,
your
do you know
flat
the
Earth?
best
What up?
example to give? Because Gilly came up with like a great analogy for it. He was talking about like one of his kids who like constantly, forgot to flush
so
the toilet
completely
after
ignore
using
my
it.
experiment.
Hang on one second,
Completely
Nathaniel.
ignore my.
One of the best
Completely ignore what I
analogy.
was talking
One
about.
second,
Got it.
Nathaniel. Hang on one second. So Gilly was talking about this. His kid would constantly forget to flush the toilet. So he went up to his kid and said, "Oh, you forgot to flush the toilet." And his kid responds with, "Yeah, but you forgot to flush the toilet last week, Dad." It has nothing to do with whether or not, his kid is constantly forgetting to flush the toilet. It's just a way to shift it to, but you're a hypocrite. You made a mistake, here or there. So yeah, you're right. It is a diversion tactic. It's a way to say like, yeah, but you made a mistake at this point. So like if like someone smoked their whole life and then they start talking to someone about, dude, don't smoke. You're only 20 years old. You shouldn't do that. It's bad for you. So yeah, but you smoked your whole life, Dad. It's like that's not a good way to say that like smoking isn't bad.
Yeah, but wouldn't it still be potentially valid if the person said, "Okay, yes, you're right. I smoking is bad." Like in that case, for me. But then after they admitted that, then say, "Hey, but didn't you smoke for years?" But then that would be like a new
Yeah, but
argument.
you have to actually at least address the point. Otherwise you could say, what about this? And then I could be like, well, what about that? And they could say, well, what about that? And then we're just doing that all night.
Right. You just keep
Yeah,
pointing.
if they respond to the point with like, yeah, smoking is bad, but you smoked for a while and you turned out okay. And also there's that 95-year-old dude, around the block. He's still smoking. That's just bringing up other points, but the original thing was smoking is bad for you. And if you bring up like, what about, Grandma Jane? She smoked till she was 80 and she had no lung problems. That's why whataboutism diverts from the original point, whatever it was, because now we're going into the weeds of this other thing that has nothing to do with it.
Plus, you could just do the what about thing back and forth. You could say, what about this? And I can be like, well, what about that? And you say, what about this? And then we're just doing that for who knows how long and no points. It's like nothingness.
What about if you just keep going back?
What about if we don't keep going back and forth and actually answer points and stuff?
Let's get to the point.
Well, he bailed. He left, but but I was going to say to him before he left, it's really not valid. He always says, I think anyone honest in this conversation, if you just say evidences are, certain, like it doesn't mean like just because it's an evidence doesn't mean it's true. So you could say, oh, the eclipse is evidence that we're on a sphere because there's a round circular thing that overtakes the sun or seems to block the sun's light. That is technically maybe evidence, could be evidence that it is that we are on spheres and that is happening, but that doesn't mean it's actually true. So the thing is, like, for him to say there's no evidence for a planar stationary Earth, that's obviously just false. Like, anyone who's honest in this conversation would say there actually are evidences to both, if you're going to call them sides, like a sphere or a planar Earth. Technically, there are claimed evidences. It's just whether they're valid or not that's important.
Oh, this is if we could make if we made a pigs could fly room, and there was no evidence for pigs could fly. You think there'd be like a decade-long debate going on about if pigs could fly? No.
You could get evidence of that. You could go out and you could run a scam. You could have a pig walking in the sand where it's making pig footprints. Then you could lift the pig up and carry it like 100 feet and then put it back down and then take a video or take pictures of it and be like, look, the pig jumped off the ground and he landed, he flew all the way 100 feet. Now that's not a valid evidence, but it technically would be a possible evidence for that. You know what I mean? But that would obviously just not
but
mean
people, you want to get a decade-long debate, heated debates on that, though, you know?
If he had $60 million a day, dude, he could make some pretty convincing evidence that these pigs can fly. I mean, one evidence that the Earth is planar is people believe the Earth is planar. That's one evidence, actually, that they never address.
Yeah. You could even say that even in the mainstream model, they admit that humans used to think it was planar and stationary until Aristotle, Copernican revolution, Newton, all these guys, whatever they try to claim 2,500 years. So you could even say that's evidence too, just that humans always had it as planar and stationary and had to switch over to this globe thing.
You're saying if I believe in unicorns, that is evidence of unicorns?
That's right. If you had a convincing argument and you were fully convinced in your own mind, that would be evidence that we should look into your belief. That we should, we shouldn't just say you're wrong. We should just look into it.
Yeah, but does that mean that all the globe earthers that believe it, that's evidence that it could be a globe because they believe it?
Yeah, I don't like this one at all.
That's
Strongly
correct.
disagree.
I don't really like it either, but I kind of see the logic and at least in a way, like it depends how loosely you consider evidence, like how loosely you would consider something being evidence for something.
Oh, yeah, I could get evidence for anything then if that, there's evidence for everything. It makes evidence worthless at that point, I feel like.
No, it kind of, I don't know, man. If you get more than one person thinking about something, because they always try to make it sound like certain ideas are fringe or only a few people talk about it, and then they try to suppress it for that. But that doesn't mean that thing's not true, so that's the issue with that. But at the same time, on the other side, it does seem like if a lot of people think something, it could be, you could see that as evidence that it could be true. Like if a lot of people think killing other people is wrong, that's evidence. Like maybe killing people really is wrong. I think we would all agree it is, other than people that are killing or think it's okay. Obviously, every country it's illegal, etc. So if a lot of people do think something, it means it could be true. But then on the other hand, it also doesn't mean it is. It could be false. Like a bunch of people believing something that's false. Does that mean it's evidence for both? It's evidence for true and false because certain people think it's one or the other? If you go to that.
Bro, with this belief thing, it's made the word evidence worthless, bro. Evidence is worthless now.
If it's possible, though, Jeremy, that our thoughts come external from us, why would we, throw out? We should, at least consider people's opinions and ideas.
No, I hear you. But as far as calling it evidence, that's a stretch. That's the weakest evidence you could possibly have.
Very weak evidence. I like proof myself.
That is a negative one on the level of evidence.
When do you think evidence becomes proof? Because I like proof. You know what I mean? Like, can you stack enough evidences on top of each other and then all of a sudden it's like, poof, there's proof.
The proof is in the pudding. That's the saying. But when is evidence proof? I would say when it's when it's fucking tangible, bro. Like water, I can 100% prove to you that like if I had water, if I had you in water, you know what I'm saying? That's 100%.
All right, well then prove that. You know what I mean? So if that's your method of that you're looking for proof. Why is that method a method of proof? Prove to me that that method should be the proof.
That the tangibility thing.
I think Rob was about to order a venti, but I'm not sure. He was hot micing.
Oh, we missed it. We missed it.
No, okay, maybe I'm just really quiet. I don't know.
You are distant. You are distant and quiet. Go ahead, though. I didn't know if you were getting in or ordering a venti.
No, I already ordered my Venti London Fog. I already ordered it.
All right.
It's sitting right beside me. But no, I was just saying, Jeremy's saying water and tangible. Well, what if I use water to... Wouldn't that
With
line...
no what if you use water to what?
No foam.
What you said? What if you use water to do what?
To draw a line on the wall.
Like a wet line?
No, I just use a water level. So I take the
Like a
vial
super
and
soaker?
No. Are you gonna let me?
Yeah, what about
out?
that? You then would have to measure if the line's curving. Yeah, you could do that. You could get like a big body of water
See
and
if
draw.
the line is curving.
How are you going to figure out if it's curving?
I don't think it's curving.
The hard part.
That's the hard part. So, but first, we need to have the line on the wall.
800 meters. 800
I know
meters, Rob.
I know. Hard, man. It's hard to find somewhere that has an 800-meter wall.
But that's the easy part. Despite how hard it is to find an 800-meter wall, despite that level of hardness, putting a straight line against that curved line is the even harder part.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out when we get the wall. But I'm gonna do it this year.
We've been talking about it for years now, dude. We've been talking about it for years on how to make that straight line.
Yeah, but I have only implemented this since January. And I said the weather was
right,
really
let us know when you find a wall. Let us know when you get a wall, bro.
Down. So I will, and it should be within the next couple weeks.
But how are you going to decipher whether how are you going to decipher if the line is curving or not, though? At 8 inches per mile squared, roughly.
Well, that's the thing.
I have two good ways you could do it.
Telling me I'm begging the question or affirming the consequent just by talking about drawing the line and saying that it's straight. But when I told them I'm going to assume it's curved, they were all gung ho for it.
You know what one way would be, Gio? You'd get one of those laser levels, right? You need two of them actually. They spin real fast and they'll make like a horizontal line in a whole circle around you. If you like leapfrog those, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not like the laser beam that just shoots down the whole length of the wall. You'd have to like leapfrog them. Yeah, overlap them. Yup.
Well, depends on what the margin of error is between them, because you could end up with a disco ball situation going on. But yeah, maybe.
If the laser line's like a millimeter thick and you get it to overlap really good halfway down the line or something, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just feel like it's possible.
Yeah, that could be tested. Another one I was thinking, which is kind of a different category, but what if you put a gyroscope like very close to the water, like an 8 inch in a mile? Shouldn't that gyroscope be noticeably, precessed if it was a globe? Isn't that? I mean, I know that involves gyroscopes, but I'm saying if you took a gyroscope very close to the water, I mean, if it's tilted, well, it's not. It's the 8 inches drop. The amount of tilt is what would actually have to be measured. So maybe you could you could do like
1 degree, 69 miles.
I wouldn't put anything on lockdown with a gyro. You know what I'm saying? That's just me though. You could use one. You could have. That's a good one though. You could have one there and run it across the line or the line Rob makes or the surface of water or something. Yeah. Whatever we do, if Rob does do this line, we're going to want to do like 30 things with this line. So
how many millions of dollars in total do you think it would cost to actually do enough tests to actually shift the whole paradigm? Just estimate a number, 10 million, 100 million. How many now I'm not talking about doing extra
the whole
stuff.
Paradigm. How much money would it cost to shift the whole paradigm?
Yeah, and I'm not talking about extra stuff. I'm not talking about like big media things or anything. I'm just talking about like
the tests.
Just to do the tests that would then be able to be presented to the scientific community. Maybe they would resist it at first, but eventually there's going to be some of them that are willing to look, and then more, and then more, and then the idea that the truth would win. How much money just to do the test Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a range. I'm gonna give you a range because you could probably get it done for cheaper than this. But I'm gonna say definitely $1 billion. I'd get it done, but it may be as cheap as like 10 million or 100 or something. I don't know. I may need 10 billion. I don't know.
Well,
I need a large area of land.
$1 billion would obviously do it. I mean, let's be real. $1 billion would do it. But whether it's 10 or 100 million, yeah. I guess it depends on whether, like, what level of test would be needed to actually shift the whole paradigm. Not just something that some would find interesting, like some scientists or whatever, or some people in the, kind of paradigm and in the professional positions, because that is the way our culture is set up, that they're the ones that kind of define, like, what goes in the education, what goes in all the systems that we live in. No, because if you did one test like this, well, I'm just saying it might not be enough to do one test. Like if you did one, like even if you did a straight line thing, it might be compelling to a lot of people, or certain people in the community might shift their view. But is that going to actually shift the whole paradigm? Like I think for the paradigm, you're going to need like many angles. Like we're going to have to replicate Dayton Miller's test with the interferometry, like gyroscope, curvature, other motion tests, mapping. Like there's going to have to be distance measurements, a whole bunch of things, together.
One that would be real good is the circle and the square thing. You do pi or draw a square out and do the diagonal.
Yeah. Now, if you own, owning your own land would be ideal for that. So you don't have to.
That's why I said $1 billion. You couldn't buy that much land for the land you need for that. It's like, bro, it's like 100 square miles or something. You need to have a square that's like 100 miles on each side.
No, 10 miles. 10, 20
miles.
like
100, bro. It's like 100.
No, come on.
What's the difference?
Not necessary.
Well, hold on. Hold on, man. What's the difference between what's the difference between a square? The difference of the formula of a square on a plane versus square on the size of the globe. I think it's got to be like 100 miles, dude.
Are you sure? Well, 20 miles by 20 miles is about 250,000 acres. Just to give you an idea, 20 miles by 20 miles. If you're going 100, Jeremy, yeah, it's well over 1 million to 2 million, and many more acres than that.
I don't know. I think you need a very big circle or square. I don't know. Maybe a circle that's 100-mile radius or diameter or something. I don't know.
Just go buy the salt flats.
I mean, 20 miles is enough to compare it with the globe curvature formula, right? It's enough.
Are you talking, Donk? Are you talking 20 miles just to do it by distances? Like because if you do like a square.
Yeah. Just by distance. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's saying 20 miles, Jeremy. Who did your math, Jeremy? Did Kosho do it? Because if so, we might need to double check it. Even though he's the
I think we only need 400 meters.
We might need to recheck it.
The distance thing is different, though, Rob. Yeah, the 800 meters one's legit, but this thing with the distances is another thing. Actually, you know what a good one was, Gio?
But Donk's saying 20 miles. But Donk's saying
it 20. It might be, but that's a huge. Can you get that for $1 billion?
Oh yeah, you could buy.
Wait, I got a way better idea.
Hold on, man. Nah, you wait.
A pair of pliers and some astronauts, and way cheaper.
You know what a good one is, Gio? A good one is the one where you make a level, right? You have some water or you make a level reference, and then you do a reverse tangent. You make a tangent above it on what the globe says the tangent would be. You know what I'm saying? So you just assume that this is a straight line on a globe. That would be a straight line on a globe. You know what I'm saying? If you make a level line and then you go up 8 inches per mile squared along the distance of that line. So now you have what the globe claim is a straight line and the globe claim is a curving line. And then you measure the distance of those two lines. Right? That's a good one. Then you only need a straight shot. You don't need a whole like square kind of a big square thing. You just need a long line.
Didn't I come up with that? Or I thought maybe I did when one of the talks.
I don't know. Whoever did though is genius. I'm getting at least 7%
all you motherfuckers are trying to steal my idea.
Calm down, Rob. Calm down. This is a distance thing. This isn't a. We're not trying to like measure the drop or nothing. This is your measurement of the distances, and that line needs to be very long. Like this line I'm talking about, Rob, needs to be miles.
Well, we talked about if you made a like a cement a cement surface that was curved to 8 inches per mile squared, like you purposely curved it, and then measuring the distance. So now you have something that you know is 8 inches per mile, and then you measure.
No. You make level, Geo. You make level, right? You make the concrete level, and then you just assume the globe is true. Make a line above that that rises up 8 inches per mile squared. So now the globe claims that would be a flat line, straight line, and the level one's your concrete one below it is curving. That's all level. And then you measure the distance. You measure the distance of those two lines. The difference between an arc length and the globe arc length and flat. However, you need to go it's like 100 miles or something crazy.
Then you would know if level is curving or not. Yeah. No, you said the whole thing that I was kind of trying to say, but I just like didn't say the whole thing, and I might have only said a part of it. So yeah, because you're thinking of the same conversation that's related to that.
I always like that one.
What about just laying a piece of like a fishing line that floats, lying that on top of water, and then measuring that? Why wouldn't that work? If you had a very large body of water that was very calm water, it'd have to be very calm water, which is tough. But if you could get something that's long enough, because that's allegedly level, and then you could just measure the distance of that. Well, you'd have to compare it to one that was risen up 8 inches above the water, which you also could do technically.
No,
Like
how you measure it, Gio? How?
The distance of it? Well, like if you had if you had a string that was floating on water, which is similar to the idea of making cement, instead of making, you could do it with cement or water, I suppose. Making it level, having a large level surface. Then, like Jeremy said, then you have something that's deviating 8 inches from that you make, and then you measure the distances of them, and you can compare them.
You could measure it with that little thing that rolls, or a tape measure. I would measure it multiple different ways with multiple different devices, but yeah, you could measure the distance of that.
By the way, the cheapest land in the world, just real quick, it'd be about like $200 an acre. Is some of the cheapest land in the world, so it'd be like 50 million cheapest to get a 250,000 acre land property.
Oh, that's not bad. We can't be on the side of a mountain though. We need something that's somewhat level, or that we could at least like make level. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like
basically,
we can't have like a mountain.
You could get 1 million acres for $200 million, basically.
Oh, that's banging.
Can't you just rent some flat land in like Oklahoma or some shit?
Donk, were you gonna get in? Sorry, I came in with the number thing because I just had it on my screen. I was gonna close it. Do you remember what you were saying about the measuring with the curved and the level?
Yeah, the problem with the line over a water surface is the tension. Okay, you never measured something, yeah, and we are claiming the water is curved or is flat. Okay, so we have both methods are invalid. Okay, because they are based on assumptions. Okay, and you never create a straight level line. That's
why you would do.
Well, let me respond to that real quick before you go. There's a few different tests with wire with water. One of them is like pulling it at tension to see if it actually goes under the water in the middle. Another one is having it on top of the water and then pulling it and see if it pulls down into the water. And then so there's several. And then the other one that I'm talking about too is if you were to somehow, like we were just talking about making a cement, like if you made a large cement plateau that was all level and you confirmed it was level, then you can do these comparisons, because whatever level is, it's either curving the way the globe claims or it's not. And then that's why, and I was just saying another idea with the line one I was saying with the line on the water is more the idea of, could we just use the water as that level? So it wasn't one of the other ones where you pull it taut and stuff. But I do hear what you're saying. In any of those tests, the tension and the stretching of the wire or the fishing line would come into play. Yeah.
Well, that's why if you have to make an assumption, the best thing to do is just make all the assumptions that the globe model makes. Now you're doing an internal critique. So if you make the level surface, the globe says that's curving, and then you do the assumption that 8 inches per squared above that. You know what I'm saying? If you were to go out and do 8 inches per squared and make a line above that, that's also a globe assumption that that's now a straight line. That'd be a tangent. So with both of those assumptions at play, it's a complete internal critique. And you can now measure the distance of both of the lines, and that'll tell you which one's the straight one, because one of them will be a shorter distance.
Yeah, but both are based on assumptions. Okay, there's
I know,
no
but it doesn't
measurement,
matter
no
though.
physical measurement. Okay, that's the problem what we have.
No, we're
There's no
gonna
physical
do the
measurement.
physics.
It's an
You're gonna
observation.
do the
Yeah,
physics.
over a long distance.
No.
We have
It's not an observation. It's not an observation. You're gonna do the physical measurement when you measure the distance of those lines.
With what?
And that'll
With what?
tell
On a
you.
boat? With what? On a boat? Or what?
No, you
Or
have a cement path that you make sure is all level, right? That's the one, and then you're gonna measure the distance of that. And then directly above it, you're gonna make what the globe claims is a straight line. So you're gonna go up 8 inches per mile squared off of that level cement path, and then you're gonna measure the distance of that line. You got it?
yeah, I got your point.
Yeah, so that would falsify, that would tell you. And then once you have those distances, one of those lines has to be shorter, right? I think we'd all agree on that. One of those lines is definitely going to be shorter. So whatever the shorter one is, that is a straight line. We know that one's the straight line, right?
Yeah, in my opinion, we need a measure route, okay? And the best way to do it is we need a certain distance, 10 miles, 20 miles, yeah, or longer if you have the area, yeah, okay. And then you put sticks, yeah, across the whole distance, yeah, in certain distances, yeah, you choose one, yeah, 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, 4 meter, whatever, yeah, okay. It's a construction thing, okay. We have to work it out.
All right.
Yeah.
And then what are we doing with the stakes? I like stakes. Where are we going with this?
So we pull the sticks straight, yeah, vertical, straight into the ground. It's the first step. Okay, so
In a
and
straight
then
line, we're
we
just doing
need,
a straight line of hold on, we're just doing a straight line of stakes.
yeah, and for this is the complicated method. Okay, for this, it's my idea. We need some things like bars. Okay, made of
Some things like
titanium.
what?
Made of titanium.
Bars.
Bars.
I got bars. All right, let's go. Let's get these bars going.
Make the bars round or squared. It doesn't matter. Okay, squared.
We'll probably do
better.
squares.
Yeah, squared is better.
We'll do
yeah.
squares. Yeah.
And I would choose the material titanium. Okay, and
Let's go. Hard
manufacture it.
bars.
Really create a really small error mesh. It means in
precision
a really
engineering.
Straight bar.
I love it.
Precision engineering, okay, in micrometers. Yeah, not millimeters, micrometers. We can do it.
Nanometers,
okay?
if possible.
No, yeah, but that's too much. Okay, yeah, okay.
Well, we got $1 billion.
It's really
so
hard to do. Micrometer, yeah. I would choose micrometer. For me, it's enough.
How many billions do you need to get to the nanometer?
Yeah, 1 billion maybe.
We'll go with micrometer.
Like
go ahead.
Yeah.
Carry on though, please.
20 miles. Okay, then we manufacture these bars with I would say 1 or 2 meters long. Okay, yeah, and then we build this manual. Okay, with analog methods with a water spirit level. Yeah, with a water tube maybe. Yeah, choose one. Okay, but we can't use optical devices. We can't use GPS. We can't use lasers. We have all these problems with it. That's why we need analog methods, and we need one point.
About like a force line. You're talking about like a force line kind of thing, where we get these precision bars and put them all in a straight line, make sure they're all squared up, and then get some level references underneath it or on the side of it or something.
Yeah, we know we need one starting point, one fixed point, and from there we have to make sure it's absolute straight, okay? And from there we can construct our straight measure route with these bars. Yeah?
All right, let me tell you something real quick, Donk.
Yeah.
Real quick. The thing you're doing, you're going to want to go both ways to make sure you have symmetry. You know what I'm saying? So if you go out one way, you start leveling, go out one way, you're going to want to go the same distance the other way to make sure it's like symmetrical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get the point. Yeah. It's
Yeah, we
it's
want to
not
make sure
easy.
that symmetry's. We want to make sure that symmetry's there. So, but go carry on.
Yeah, but the thing
I
is,
feel
we
your
have to
pain,
connect.
Don. Jeremy did the same thing to me.
I mean, just a lot of these things involve. You want to make sure your line's not. We want to make sure we get this right. So you want to make sure your line's straight. So whichever way you go, you want to go the other way to make sure it's symmetrical. Because what if you do it and you're like, oh, it's 7 inches on this side and 2 inches on this side? You know, you messed up.
Yeah, you just made my job so much harder. Trying to find a 400-meter building is a hell of a lot easier than an 800-meter building or wall.
Yeah, don't even bother with 400. 400 is for suckers.
I'm still gonna do it, Jeremy. It's you made it twice as hard to find a building that big.
We'd have to do all these tests and overlap them. So like the last two that were mentioned, the one Donk was mentioning, and the one that we were talking about with the distances of a level versus straight lines and so on. Like you'd want to do all of them, you know, in complementary in a complementary way with each other, so you can really get like a very wide range of results, you know, from many different approaches.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We can use GPS. Yeah, we can use um, a laser. Yeah, and we can use a spirit level.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be that alone, but it's just if it were a globe, it seems like plane surveying wouldn't even be a thing. You would never even do plane surveying. Even if you would just always have globular surveying. Even if you didn't need to incorporate the curve, you would just say, okay, this is globular surveying without the curve, which I guess in a way is what plane surveying is. But at the same time, the amount of curvature that should be there in plane surveying is just not there.
So plane surveying only ignores the curve for azimuth angles, not for elevation angles. All modern tools and methods of plane surveying either specifically account for Earth curve or are designed in such a way that they would correct for or compensate for Earth curve if present. For the vertical axis. It's only the horizontal, the spherical axis and the horizontal axis that they ignore, which they can only do up to about, like you said, 100 square miles before the error becomes too great. The azimuthal error.
Howdy, fellas.
Hey, Learn Share, how's it going?
It's going. It's Friday night.
Yeah, so this is just from ChatGPT, but anyone can pull any of this stuff up to look into plane surveying. Plane surveying assumes Earth is flat over the survey area. That means level lines are treated as parallel, plumb lines are treated as parallel, triangles are treated as flat Euclidean triangles, curvature corrections are usually ignored.
Okay, ask it to name a single form of modern accurate plane surveying instrument and tool that does not or would not compensate for Earth curve in the vertical axis. There are none, but see if it can name one.
Yeah, but that's a trick question.
No, it's not.
No. You imply your calculations based on your fraction sheet, right?
I'm not sure what you're asking. The point is, every single form of modern accurate plane surveying, any instrument, any method, in practice today, either specifically compensates for Earth curve in the procedure, or the instrument is designed in such a way and is used in such a way that if there were Earth curve, it would be compensated for.
So I did ask it that, and it says, yes, many traditional plane surveying methods and instrument effectively ignore Earth curvature in the vertical axis. For example, dumpy levels, automatic optical levels, boulders levels, short range total station work, hands levels, construction laser levels, and all establish what is essentially a local horizontal tangent plane. They do not curve downward with the Earth.
Okay, excellent. Let's take the auto level since that's the only one that's actually used in modern accurate plane surveying that it listed there. Now ask it, is it standard operating procedure to put the automatic level equidistant between the back sight and the foresight?
Well, you didn't even address the last one. You said something about the vertical. It's never ignored, and I just read directly what it said, that they ignore it every time.
Yeah, I know it's wrong, and I'm leading you.
Oh,
to
you're saying ChatGPT is wrong?
In this case, it is, and I'm
Oh,
leading
okay.
you.
Well, that would
I'm
be
gonna
good
prove it
to.
you.
So it'd be good to clarify, because instead of you just lily padded to a whole nother thing
No,
for me to
it's
ask.
not a
I'm not
whole
really going
nother-
to sit here and keep putting in prompts. I put a few in, but I'm good.
Well, we also need to see the exact thing you typed into ChatGPT.
Yeah, the first thing I said with a brand new fresh, I said, does plane surveying incorporate the Earth's curvature at all? With a question mark. And then the second prompt is I said, are there any plane surveying tools that don't compensate for Earth's curvature in the vertical axis? Which is precisely what he said. And then that was the second one. And and now he's saying it's wrong. So, I mean, he's saying ChatGPT is wrong.
Let me explain then, please, if I may. If I may not, just say that I may not, and then I shan't.
And I can, if you want, Robert, I can pull all the screenshots if you want. I mean,
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
So if you were to ask it if it is standard operating procedure to place the automatic level, equidistant between the backside and the foresight, it should say yes, because that is in all the surveying manuals. Then you would ask it if the automatic level was placed equidistant between the backside and the foresight, would that compensate for Earth curve if present in the differential reading? And the answer it would give should be yes. So then it would be agreeing with me that even that method would compensate for Earth curve, if done as is practiced.
What are you talking about? Auto level?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I have a surveying book I'm looking at right now on the auto level. It doesn't say any of that.
Oh, what book is it?
Surveying for Engineers, 1998.
Okay, what does it say about the placement of the auto level when doing a differential leveling run?
So it says that there's a line of culmination versus the true horizontal plane, and that since A to C equals C to B, the error in the readings S1 and S2 will be the same. This error is due to the culmination error, the effect of which is to incline the line of culmination by angle theta. This gives S1 minus S2 equals S1 prime plus X minus S2 plus X. So basically, the true difference in height between A and B has nothing to do with curvature with an auto level.
Okay, so just work with me here. Read just the first thing you just started to read before you read all of that. So was it S1 is equal to S2? Or what? Read me that part again.
Yeah, check this out. It says, the only permanent adjustment check necessary for an automatic and digital level is to ensure that the compensator and the end diaphragm are set such that horizontal readings are taken when the circular bubble is centralized. If horizontal readings are not being taken, then a culmination error... If horizontal readings are not being taken, then a culmination error is present in the level. The usual method of testing and adjusting a level is to carry out a two-peg test, which is carried out as follows. And then on fairly level ground, hammer two pegs, A and B, a maximum of 60 meters apart. Let this distance be L. Set up the level exactly midway between the pegs, point C, and level carefully. Place a leveling staff at each peg in turn and obtain readings S1 and S2. And then you figure out the error, the height error from that.
So are you reading the section on calibration and testing of the instrument, or the section on the use of the instrument in the field? That's two different things. It sounded like you're talking if it's a two-peg test, you're talking about the calibration and testing of the unit, not the actual use of it in the field. We're talking about the actual procedure for using it in the field.
So okay, so I mean, you're saying differential leveling, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
if you have differential leveling, wouldn't you need to adjust, right? You want to make sure your automatic and digital level, you know, you want to
Is
make
this
sure
an
it's calibrated, right?
is this
So
an
I mean,
online
it
book
says,
that you can share with me, or is
yeah,
this? Oh, cool. Can you drop me the link, please?
yeah, I have before. Give me
Thank you.
1 second. Put it. I don't think it's sharing it from there. There we go. Yeah, I've already posted. Go to page 50 in the book, 65 in the PDF.
Okay, as soon as I see it pop up somewhere, I will.
Yeah, none of it has to do with curvature, dude. You set up
But the
temporary benchmarks.
but the but the inherent procedure or the procedure inherently would correct for curvature if present.
Rise and fall
That
method.
what
How's
could
that
you?
correcting for curvature?
Oh, well, if and I suspect that the book will say this if I ever see it. So far, I haven't. Where did you post it? Do you remember?
Posted it.
Where did
Yeah,
you
live
post it?
stream. Live stream text one.
Live stream text. Oh, I'm
You
in
know.
audience text. There we go. I wonder why is Hangio, why is audience text next to the live stream or closer to the live stream VC than the anyway. Okay. Okay. I see it. I click it.
Page 50 in the book, 65 in the PDF.
Okay, as soon as I see it pop up somewhere, I will.
Yeah, none of it has to do with curvature, dude. You set up temporary benchmarks.
But the inherent procedure or the procedure inherently would correct for curvature if present.
Rise and fall method.
What
How's
could
that
you?
correcting for curvature?
Oh, well, if and I suspect that the book will say this if I ever see it. So far, I haven't. Where did you post it? Do you remember?
Posted it.
Where did
Yeah,
you
live
post
stream.
it?
Live stream text one.
Live stream text. Oh, I'm in
You know.
audience text. There we go. I wonder why is Hangio, why is audience text next to the live stream or closer to the live stream VC than the anyway. Okay. Okay. I see it. I click it. You said 65?
Well, you can go to page 70 on the left, like on the PDF itself.
Uh-huh. The digital page 70.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. That's also the printed page 70 for me.
So listen to this. And if you go to page 76, it's very interesting.
What's the
I think you would like that.
let's see, let me look for 76. Give me printed page numbers. That way I know I'm looking at the right thing. Page 60? Okay. Oh, all right. So at point A in figure 2 1/4, where a level has been set up, and it's talking about an auto level or a digital level. Page 60? Okay. Oh, all right. So at point A in figure 2 1/4, where a level, and it's talking about an auto level or a digital level, it can be seen that the level and horizontal lines through the instrument diverge. This is caused by level lines following the curvature of the Earth, which is defined as mean sea level. So on and so forth. Okay.
Why are you skipping that part?
I mean, this is just
Earth,
about
which is
Earth curve,
defined as mean sea level and is
where a level has been. Oh, all right. So at point A in figure 2 1/4, where a level has been set up, and it's talking about an auto level or a digital level, it can be seen that the level and horizontal lines through the instrument diverge. This is caused by level lines following the curvature of the Earth, which is defined as mean sea level. So on and so forth. Okay.
Why are you skipping that part?
I mean, this is just
Earth,
about
which is
Earth curve.
defined as mean sea level and is a possible source of error in leveling, since all readings taken at A are observed along the horizontal line instead of the level line. The difference between a horizontal and a level line is given by C equals 0.0785 distance squared, where C equals curvature in meters, and then D equals sighting distance in kilometers. And it says the effect of atmospheric refraction on a line of sight is to bend it towards the Earth's surface, causing staff readings to be too low. This is a variable depending on atmospheric conditions, but for ordinary work, refraction is assumed to have a value of 1/7 that of curvature, but is of opposite sign. The combined curvature and refraction correction is thus C plus R equals 0.673 distance squared. The combined correction for a length of sight of 120 meters amounts to negative 0.001 meters, and the effect of both is thus negligible when undertaking leveling if sightings are less than 120 meters, as should always be the case. Why would you try to skip that one, Jesse?
I'm not sure of the relevance, but it's
that
okay.
curvature and refraction can be negligible. So I see why you wanted to skip past that. No, I get it.
No,
I get it.
It's a classic game over, Jesse.
No,
Here, I'll
it's not.
post it right here. Here's
No,
the
it's not.
link. Here's a source.
He skipped over the basics. I'm looking through the book for the actual basic procedures. My point is based on the basic procedures of differential leveling.
It says if longer sight lengths must be used, it is worth remembering that the effects of curvature and refraction will cancel if the sight lengths are equal. What?
Well, what?
What? What does that say? So if I go from point A to B 120 meters apart respectively, I can ignore curvature and refraction coefficients or corrections, right? And then I can go from B to C and then C to D, and I would never have to take into account curvature or refraction.
All right, and what are the conditions under which you would not have to take into curvature or refraction?
It says 120 meters apart respectively from A to B.
Okay, did it say anything about them being the sight lengths being equal?
It says it will cancel out if the sight lengths are equal. So
okay.
Yeah.
So explain to me why that would be. Or if you don't know, I'll explain it to you.
Wait, you wanted to skip over this part at first. Now you want to explain it to me and teach me it?
I was looking for what was on page 61. I didn't know where to look for. I've never read this book before. But
Go
this
ahead.
this
Tell
part
me.
you
Tell
just
me. Tell me why that's the case.
okay, because let's say there's 1 inch of drop to your backside, okay, and the distance to your foresight is the same as the distance to your backside. There will also be 1 inch of drop to your foresight, right? Does that make sense? If you're on a ball and it drops from horizontal, and your backside has a 1 inch drop due to earth curve, and your foresight also has a 1 inch drop due to earth curve, then they will both have the same amount of drop due to the earth curve, right?
Refraction is not earth curve.
But wait. Okay. So we're talking about taking readings, right, from A to B to B to C to C to D, right? This is called leveling. This is leveling in the terms of engineering. First, surveying. It's engineering, surveying specifically. Right, which is what planar surveying is. So check it out, right? So when we're doing rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall, and you have a difference between your initial benchmark and your final benchmark, that's all you can say, for sure. Like, that's it. That's all you can say. There's no curvature or refraction taken into consideration when using those distances. It even says it right here. Even says it in reciprocal leveling the next chapter. Page 63.
Assuming that your two sight lengths are equal.
It says true differences in height are obtained by ensuring that BS and FS lengths are equal when
Backside,
leveling.
foresight. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
BS is backside length, and FS is foresight length.
This eliminates the effect of any culmination error that may be present in the level used, and also eliminates the effects of curvature and refraction.
Exactly. And this is why I'm saying that even in this manual you provided for us, the humble automatic level would compensate for earth curve inherently if used according to surveying manual. And that goes back to my point. There is no modern accurate form of plane surveying that either does not or would not correct for earth curve.
Dude, do you understand what you're saying right now?
So I do, but I don't think you do. Maybe
okay.
I'm
No,
not
I
being clear.
understand. It's okay. So they're basically saying that if you keep all your sight lengths equal, okay, A to B is equal to B to C. If you keep those things equal, and you ensure that you're only going 120 meters apart, respectively, then you can ignore refraction and curvature effects. That means it's flat, dog.
No, it doesn't mean it's flat. Do you know why you can ignore them? If you keep the FS and the BS equal?
Why is that, Jesse?
Because the error that's caused by the one is equal to the error caused by the other because they're the same distance. So, and actually, I think maybe we need to go over the basics of differential leveling. The whole premise of differential leveling is you have 2 points and you want to know how much higher one is than the other. That's all it does. Differential means difference. It just gets the difference in height between point A and point C if B is in the middle. So this is how you do it. Let's say we wanted to see if a lake was level, okay? Let's just say, I'm going to set this up at a long distance because 8 inches in a mile. So we got an auto level, exactly 3 feet and 8 inches, 3 feet above the surface, okay? Now, a mile behind us and a mile ahead of us, we've got a guy with a yardstick holding it up vertical. We look through there. We're going to read. Do you know how much we'll read on the yardstick? 3 feet and 8 inches, right? Because on a globe, he would have dropped down 8 inches at 1 mile, and so our horizontal would strike his yardstick not at the 3 foot mark, but 8 inches above the 3 foot mark. Is that making sense? Not making sense?
I don't know what you're reading. Are you reading the book?
No, I'm trying to help you understand what differential leveling even is to begin with. Because
what are you citing though? I'm like reading. I'm trying to see what you're saying and compare and contrast to the book that actually is for surveying for engineers. Like, do you have a reference you're referencing or something like that I'm not aware of?
No, I'm shooting from the hip because I know this stuff. But okay. if you got to have it from the book that you didn't read, let's go find it from the book you didn't read.
The book that I didn't read. You just said that you never seen this book before. What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, you never read it either. You quote mined a few words out of it, but you don't
Yeah, I didn't read it in its entirety. It's a 602-page book about surveying for engineers.
That's okay. It's okay. That's why I'm trying to explain to you the essence of a differential leveling procedure.
Yeah, but I don't want
'cause
you
that's
shooting from
key.
the hip. I want you to cite your sources like I have been citing my sources from what I'm saying.
Well, okay, I'm just giving you standard surveying procedure, but let's see if we can find it in the book.
How do I know that standard surveying procedure? That's my point, Jesse.
If you read the section on differential leveling, you would already know it. But let's see here. Let me look. I'm scrolling through the book.
So you don't even know if that's even in this book, differential leveling, or if it's called something different because it's from 1998, dude.
Okay, let's start at printed page 50, which is I don't know what page in the maybe 66?
Printed 50.
Printed 50, yeah. Principles of leveling.
Yeah, we went over that earlier.
Yeah, but you didn't understand it. So
what didn't I understand, Jesse?
What it means to do a differential leveling test or measurement.
Yeah, I'm wait. Like, what did I not understand?
The procedure for doing a differential level measurement. Could you tell me? Okay, you're the surveyor. I'm the rod guy. We show up and we're going to measure to see if a lake is level or not. What would we do? What would you tell me to do? What would you do? Do you know the procedure?
Yeah, you would need to take basically first. You would need to establish your. It's called the height of the plane of culmination. That's what it says right here. HPC, right? So the height of the plane of culmination or culmination level. That's what it says. It says in a correctly leveled instrument, whether it is automatic tilting or digital level, the line or plane of culmination generated by this instrument coincides with the horizontal plane. If the height of this plane is known, the heights of the ground points can be found. In figure 2.22, a level has been set up at point I and readings R and R2 recorded with the staff placed vertically in turn at ground points A and B. If the reduced level of A, RL subprime A, is known then, by adding staff reading R to RL subprime A2, the reduced level of the line of culmination at instrument position I is obtained. This is known as the height of the plane of culmination, or HPC, or culmination level. Thus, culmination level at I subprime 1 equals R L subprime A plus R plus 1, or R subprime 1. It can be seen that to obtain the reduced level point B, staff reading R2 must be subtracted from the culmination level. Now, here's a little diagram because people are probably like, what the heck are they talking about? Just so you guys can understand it. Okay, so if you look there, you have RLA, right? So you basically have a true plane of, or true horizontal reference, like a true plane of horizontal, which is, it's the dotted line, right? It's from wherever you are, you're basically setting up a temporary benchmark from wherever you are. That's point A. And then the deviation between A and B is what you're trying to find, right? The height. This is called differential leveling, like Jesse's been pointing out. And it says right there, I, right? The height of I versus the height of I2. Okay. The only way to get that is to basically get a point, a distance to point A to point B, then point B to point C. And then you also have an HPC, or height of the plane of culmination. You see how they're both dotted lines right there? And then you would have to subtract it because there's a difference in height. HPC equals RLA plus R1. HPC equals RLA plus R3. R3 is basically the midpoint between the length of B and C, which is basically drop over distance, but in this little grid.
All right, so let's just look at A to B, because when you do a differential leveling run, it's not necessarily just two. It could be hundreds or thousands of hops, like this A, B, C, D, E, F, all way out. But
correct.
Let's just see if we are on the same page for just the first step, A to B. There obviously, we need to find out the difference in height of the ground between A to B. Okay, You're the surveyor. We show up. I'm your rod man. Well, what do we do? Okay, you say, hey, Jesse, set up the tripod right here. Where do you tell me to set the tripod up?
First, you got to establish it at R1, which is at A.
Establish what?
You put a peg there.
Oh, like a temporary vertical reference height?
Correct.
Okay, so we pound a 2x2
Oh,
inch
sorry, you
piece
don't
of...
put you put the tripod in between A and B. I apologize. That's right.
Oh, good. Okay, so we put the tripod between A and B. Excellent. Now what do we do?
Right. So you have A, you have a peg there, and then B, you have a peg there, and obviously you have some type of markings to establish the height difference, right? So you would use the same pegs of equal height, right? Like they would have to be the exact same type of pegs, correct?
So, well, no, the pegs are just a piece of 2x2 plank that's cut with a pointed end. It's about 12 inches long, and you pound it in so it's almost flush. It's just a hard point that won't move during the test. So we've got a peg at A and B, but that's not. We need something other than the pegs and the auto level and the tripod. Do you know what else we take out to this job site?
Wait, what'd you say?
We need something else other than beyond the pegs, the auto level, and the tripod.
A ruler? I don't know.
Yeah, technically called a leveling staff. I'll put a diagram.
Oh, the leveling staff. Yeah, right. But I mean,
Okay.
isn't that yeah, that's it right there.
Okay. All right, we're making headway. So I'm your rod man. You've said, hey Jesse, put up the tripod here halfway between A and B, and then you probably tell me to carefully set the instrument on there and level it all up, because I'm a good rod man. I can at least level an auto level. All right, what's the next step? I'm your rod man, so you'll be running the auto level. I'll be running around with the measuring staff, which is called the rod. What's the next step?
Okay, well, you got to take your backside.
Okay, right? So what? Tell me what you would tell me to do.
So you're holding the tripod. You're at I1 in between A and B, right?
I'm the rod man. You're the surveyor. So you're gonna be looking through the instrument that's set up on the tripod in the middle. I'm the rod man. You're gonna tell me to go do something with that rod.
So you basically, I need to reduce the horizontal line of combination error. Or level, as they call it.
No, not if the tripod's in the middle.
It says, in figure 2.2, a level has been set up at point I. The readings R1 and R2 recorded with the staff placed vertically in turn at ground points A and B. If the reduced level of A is known, then by adding staff reading R1 to RLA, the reduced level of line combination instrument position I is obtained. This is known as the height of the plane of combination. So that's the next step.
Well, not exactly. Well, for this thought experiment, so in their case, they're starting out with a known RLA, it looks like, and then they're transferring that over to RLC. But let's say you and I, we just want to know which way the water's going to run and how fast. So we don't need to already establish the absolute elevation of RLA or of A. We just want to find the difference in elevation between these 2 points. So we've got our 2 pegs in. So we don't need to worry about the absolute elevation. We're just looking to find the differential elevation of A and B, right?
Then you would just set up a temporary benchmark, right?
That's our 2x2 wooden stake that pounded into the ground to be almost flush. That's our temporary benchmark.
Yeah, we're starting from there.
Yep, that's
now go a certain distance to B.
Who does?
Let's say you, the rod guy, right?
Okay, right. So you're
I
in the
take
middle.
A reading. Yeah, I'm in the middle. I am level. Okay. I take my back sight at A to make sure that that's all calibrated, etc.
Well, no, the instrument's already calibrated. We're doing work now. It's good. So describe taking the back sight. I'm your rod man. I work with you. You tell me to go do something with that rod, and then you measure the back sight.
Okay, so the back sight would be, let's just say
A.
Let's say it's 1.5 meters or something.
Yeah, but what's the procedure? Where do you pull 1.5 meters from?
You have the leveling staff, so you're the rod guy. So you would go, make sure it's steady.
What would I do with what would I do specifically with the rod? Would I hold it high above my head as far as my arms could reach? Would I set it on the ground? What would I do with it?
I mean, you would just whatever you start with, that's what you're starting with, and then that's going to be. It doesn't matter. I mean, whatever you're starting with is what you start with, and then from there,
It has to be the same in terms of like the same procedure. So if you hold your arm up like over your head, then you have to hold your arm up over your head again at B.
Okay, that wouldn't be standard surveying procedure, would it?
What is it,
Okay.
Jesse? I mean, you're wasting time here.
Well, okay, no, but I'll tell you. You would say, hey, Jesse, take this meter rod, go over to that stake we pounded in almost flush, set the end of the meter rod on the top of that stake, and hold it perfectly vertical and perfectly still for me. That's what you tell me. I would then go to that stake at A, set the end of the rod on top of the stake we put in, hold it perfectly vertical and perfectly still.
Got you. So basically, the pegs that you have, they're going to be hammered in exactly, the same, as best as you can, right? Like, let's say you do 2 inches into the ground, or 3, probably more, but let's say 4 inches into the ground. Then at point B, right, from point A, then you're going to also pound that stick 4 inches into the ground. And then you have this thing called a leveling staff, right, which is basically like a ruler, like a ruler that you can see with your auto level.
It is a ruler, yes.
Yeah, and then you basically have your rod guy basically put that flush with the top of the peg you just hammered in, and then from there, that's where you start your temporary benchmark. So that's your 0 point. Then you go to B, you have your rod guy go to B, and then you see the difference in the reading, and then it's going to be a rise or fall.
We need to finish A before we
Oh my God,
go
why
on
are you
B.
making this so painstakingly long, dude? Everyone gets this.
Well, but you need to understand how it works in order to understand how it works and have a meaningful discussion on it. And you're almost there. You're doing very well, and you're almost there. So how do you get? So I'm there standing with the meter stick perfectly vertical on the A peg. You swing your little telescope over and point it right at it. And do you know what you do then? It's okay if you don't. I'm not trying to be mean. We're working through this together. If you don't know, I can tell you.
Go ahead.
Okay, you swing your little telescope around, line it right up with the meter rod.
You flip 180, right? Because it has the ability to do that.
Yeah, it pivots around and around without limit. And it has crosshairs in it. Those crosshairs are its projection of horizontal. You see where that horizontal crosshair crosses the ruler. It might cross at the 4 foot mark, or the 4 foot 3 inch mark, or whatever. That's how you get the first reading. So, like, let's say you lined it up and it just happened to cross, that crosshair fell right across the 7 foot mark. Like, okay, 7 foot, you write down 7 feet. Now we've got your backside. So now we're done with the backside. Now we can go to the foresight. So now what would we do for B?
You said we just got our foresight, right?
Backside. We just finished our backside.
Okay.
If I misspoke, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So for B, wouldn't you? I mean, you just repeat it. Repeat the exact same method, depending on like.
Exactly.
What you're doing.
You'd say, hey Jesse, take that meter rod, go over to B, put it right on the top of B, hold it real still and real vertical, right? You would swing your little telescope around, line it up again.
You're saying the tripod's at I2 now, right?
No, I1. You don't touch it. You don't move it.
So after you get your backside, so basically what you're saying is this. You're saying I1 is basically getting a backside reading from I1 to A. That's your backside. Your foresight is I1 to B.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Absolutely. And you don't touch the position of the instrument between those two, because if it moves, then your differential reading will be off. So you can see the R1 as reading 1 and R2 as reading 2, and then so on and so forth. But all right, so yes, so you swivel it around without bumping the tripod, and you send me off to point B. I hold the meter rod up. You look through the crosshairs, and the crosshairs fall right across, let's just say, the 5 foot mark on the ruler. And I'm holding the 0 end down, of course. So then you write down 5 feet for R2. Now we've got a difference between R1 and R2. We read 7 feet on R1.
I mean, a fall, sorry. You have a fall of 2 feet.
Right, but the actual height of the instrument is irrelevant in a centered, in an equidistant differential reading like this, because the next step, do you know what the next step is? We've got 7 feet to the backside and 5 feet to the foresight. You simply subtract them.
Yes, yep.
7 minus 5 is 2 feet. So the difference
you have
in
a
height.
positive, you have a fall. If you have a negative, you have a rise.
Yeah, and so the difference between those two elevations is 2 feet in this case.
Yeah.
So
yes.
So does that sort of make sense? Why we call it a differential, and why the instrument height itself doesn't matter, but why we want it centered?
Yeah, I mean, I completely understood that, even though I didn't know the technical details. I completely understood that idea in my brain. Yes, A to B, B to C, C to D.
Okay, cool. Now let's say that Earth was curved, and the distances were such that there was an extra 1 inch of drop induced, and our back sight, instead of reading 7 feet, we read 7 feet 1 inch, and our foresight at B, or R2 towards B, instead of reading 5 foot, we read 5 foot 1 inch.
By ignoring reflections, I see.
Just let's not.
Assuming Earth curvature, yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
Let's just keep it simple. The same applies to refraction. It could be, let's say it's an inch for Earth curve drop, minus an eighth of an inch for whatever.
Yeah. The point is you assume an Earth curvature. That's the thing. That's the problem always.
Well,
but go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So if the globe Earth curve drop caused this extra 1 inch on the back sight and an extra 1 inch on the foresight, when you subtracted, you would still get the same 2 feet difference in height, because the 1 inch minus the 1 inch is 0 inches. So Earth curve would not affect the reading of this method, right? Do you see what I'm saying? This method is done in such a way that even if Earth curve was present, the method would still work the same way and would still give the true differential height relative to the surface of water at rest. Does that sort of make sense?
So what you're saying is it's so negligible that they don't even take it into consideration, which is actually, that was the point of me bringing that up.
That's totally not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the method specifies that the auto level needs to be in the middle, which would automatically compensate for any Earth curve effects if present.
Because it's of the same sight length. Yeah, I get that. Because you're basically saying, oh, well, it's on the hump.
Right, and so you can see that even on a globe Earth, let's say we were measuring the difference in height between 2 points on a lake. We would, maybe the drop over distance was 1 inch, and we had our unit at our level at our leveling instrument at, say, 5 feet. The back sight would be 5 foot 1 inch. The foresight would be 5 foot 1 inch. We subtract them, it's going to say the lake is perfectly level, right? Even on a globe.